Fire, 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 with a fire, 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 fire. Good morning, my people. Good morning, my African people. Thank you for joining my live. Thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by. You guys are welcome, welcome to call in, welcome to participate. I will be more than happy to have you over. So, yeah, um, this been weighing heavy on my mind, and I decided to make a live stream today to talk about this, cause like as you guys know, I'm a passionate African lover, African person, one of those people that believe that Africa should be doing good, that we should be working on how to become strong, on how to stop being the rock of the world, how stop receiving trash from other people, how to clean and dust ourselves so that we can stand up and be the real people that we are, and look out for our people, our children, our descendants, you know. So that's the type of person I am, and I don't think I will ever change, because some people think it's a trend. It's a trend for some people to show interest in the um, evolution, or maybe the well-being of Africa. It's a trend. Everybody want to talk about Africa nowadays. Everybody want to go to Africa. Everybody want a part of Africa and all that. To me, it's not a trend. To me, it's a real deep feeling of wanting us to evolve as people. Yeah, as people, we have to do better, guys. We have to do better. Yeah. So, having said that, the reason of my live stream today was just to vent. To be honest with you, there's so many things that I want to speak about, but I have to try to like stick on one topic, and it doesn't even matter what we're talking about concerning Africa. Uh, it's still gonna go down to the same thing, you know, because to the root of the issue. Because other stuff that we're talking about are just symptoms of the same illness. We have an illness that nobody want to address. We have an illness that people are ashamed of talking about. We are not serious. That's our illness. Our major deep rooted illness is that Africa and Africans, I would say, are not serious. We are not serious people. Some people would say Africans are not intelligent. That's part of it too. Not wanting to be serious is a lack of intelligence. It's a lack of emotional intelligence. That's what we're lacking the most as Africans. We are not emotionally intelligent. You guys, anything else that we're gonna talk about on this on this platform are just the consequences of our lack of seriousness. We're not serious people. We know that we are not serious, and we don't want to face it. People want to pretend. People want to look for other excuses left and right. And Africa is here because of that. Africa is there because of this. The bottom line is that we are not serious people. We have to start being serious if you want to go somewhere. The moment that I seen African people sitting around and talk about something that they want to accomplish. Let's say a project that they're trying to run. It never goes well. It never goes anywhere because we lack emotional intelligence. The moment that we have a little bit of difference, the moment that we have a little bit of argument, like the moment that we cannot agree on a little thing, it's all about separation. It's all about sabotaging one another. It's all about like blaming and warning and oh my lord, it's ugly to see all these repart that are in Africa that were so happy to leave the United States and the UK and wherever Australia or wherever they wanted to go. All those people that went in Africa and were all singing the same song about how Africa is the place to be. Africa is this. Where are they today? Where are they? What have them accomplished? A lot of them have run back right where they came from because they couldn't get along, even in Africa. Some of them are sabotaging one another. It's always the same thing because we're not ready. We're not ready to. Um, we don't have what it takes to be successful. We're not ready to sacrifice as people. We are very selfish, very childish, immature, emotionally immature people. When I talk about Africa and Africans, I'm not talking about just the continental, because one major issue that the continental African has is that they are ignorant. They live in a world they don't understand nothing about. They're only about individual success. You hear some Africans people here on YouTube defending ideas that are so crazy. They'll be telling you like, "Oh, I'm successful. Oh, I have my own company. I hire people in United States. I'm this, I'm that." But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about individual success. You will be successful, yes. So what? But it's not changing anything in the when it comes to how you are viewed, how the injustice that are particularly oriented to the African descent, how it affects you. You're still gonna be the victim of all the other stuff, even if you're successful. So it's not about that. It's about our image as Black people. It's about the image of Africans and African descent as Black people. This is an image that's been so sabotaged, that's been so beat up, that is so destroyed in a way that it has seeped into our own self. And that's how we project that that hate towards each one another. We hate each other. That's not a secret, guy. We know that. You can see it. It can translate in anything that we do. I see every day. Even Africans outside of Africa. I see sometimes African American here on YouTube talking about how their communities days, all this problem they have in the community. Africans are better than them. You guys are seeing from the outside. Let me tell you, maybe some stuff are different, but we have the same deep rooted issue when it comes to self hate. Let me tell you guys something. So in the African community, right, there is this unspoken uh how do you say it? Rivalry? I don't know if that's English word. So they always have this rival. They all rival each other. They always compete on the unspoken way. They're always looking down on each other. Like if I see you, right, if I'm maybe in United States and I went to a job and meet another African person, usually that person will size you up. He will size you up. He will look at what kind of clothes you have on, what kind of shoe you have on, and even that person. if that person trying to speak to you, they would just be asking you question about your life, where you are when it comes to your life, like what kind of life do you have? Do you have a good education? Do you have a good job? What level are you in the company? So it's always that unspoken competition, not a good competition, guys. Like an ugly, like unnecessary one. It's not about like, oh, hey, what do you want? How can I help you? How can I help you? Maybe if they're position higher than you, they will not be like, oh, let me help you get where I am. No, 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 no. They will be like, they will burn um all the all the possibility, like they will destroy all the possibility that you might have to get to where they are. They don't want you to achieve the level of success that they have. They always want you to they always want you to be below them. That's the typical deep rooted dark side of Africans people. So when African Americans are here on YouTube beating each other up, talking about, oh, we this, well, we that, our community is that, whatever, 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 it's the same thing in the Africans community. Africans from the continent. Don't let them pretend here on YouTube. You know, they like to pretend. They are not even people that, let me tell you guys something. So, African people, right? You guys know I'm going to always tell you the truth. Like, if you want to know the real, uncut, unfiltered truth about the African community, come ask me. Come ask me, because everyone else will come here on the internet, right? Trying to like clean stuff up, clean stuff up. First of all, my English is limited. I speak French, so English is like my fourth language. So I'm only gonna use the vocabulary I have. So I'm not gonna be over here and trying to like find words that are less harsh than other. I'm just gonna tell you like it is. Seriously, I'm gonna tell you like it is, like I say, and I'm gonna use the word that I have, that I know, to explain it. So yeah, and when other people come here and start, who is this? Do you think Pan-Africanism can work? Mami said, oh my God, the British couch sitter. Let me tell you something, my friend. How is it gonna work? To be honest with you, when we haven't addressed our like individual issue, how are we gonna start like getting along, hold each other's hand and kumbaya when in our own house? I mean, our own inner house is not like working. It's not gonna work. The idea is great. You understand? I'm not gonna say that I'm not a Pan Africanism, because I'm just trying even to wake up my people, my close circle of people, to help them see a bigger pictures when it comes to us, our community. That's where I am. I wish my people can educate themselves. I wish my people can learn how to see beyond their own individual self, because that's how the African community is. Don't just see them from outside and think that they are this great homogeneous group that love each other, that support each other. No, they don't. They do not. They do not. We grow up with a very, very discriminatory way of viewing ourselves. You know, when it comes to tribalism, that's something that's instilled in you from your childhood. Like we all have it. If someone comes here online and say, I'm not tribal, whatever, they lie. They lie. You have to consciously realize that it's bad and fight every day not to be like that. Because that's how we are raised. That's how we were raised in Africa. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's how we were raised. I consciously try not to instill that in my children. But our parents, when we were raised in Africa, right? You grow up like that. Even the neighbor, they put you against your neighbor if they know your tribe. They will tell you stuff like, Oh, those people, they're very lazy people. Don't be like them. Huh? Don't be keep your house clean. Don't have a dirty house like those people from the other tribe. That's how we raise. They just don't understand the effect, the psychological effect on the children and on the adult when you grow up. You basically have to fight it inside yourself. Sometimes you even like doing very tribal stuff. You say or do tribal stuff without even knowing it, knowing that you're hurting the other person just because they're from a different tribe. Tribalism, oh my lord. Oh, that's bad. It's bad in Africa. When I see Africans talking about racism and all that, it's a joke to me. Because even in our own community, tribalism is huge. You're talking about tribalism. I'm talking about being from a different countries. We don't see each other as brothers and sisters. So how are we gonna see each other as brothers and sisters internationally? Is that possible? We have to heal first. We have to heal. Something I really admire. Yes, right? I don't anymore because they're full of it. You know, they will sit over there trying to speak in a very, especially when they are around African Americans people, they have this fake facade that Africans are this, Africans are that, Africans don't do this. You know, African Americans are very good at like putting their issue out there. But African people, they don't. We were raised in a very shameful manner, right? Let me close this door. We have a very toxic culture. We raise our children with shame. No, the Africans are fake on those panel, right? Some are fake, some are ignorant. I was not everybody's fake, but Africans people have this shame, this inner shame, where they don't like to expose the issue. They rather fake it, make it look as if it's not there. We have the um we have that thing in us where we would like to overlook issue. We ignore them. We don't like to address nothing. That's one of the reasons of this stream because Africans are not serious, guys. They're not serious. Ask those people that are in Africa, all these diaspora that went to Africa, how African people act. They don't address nothing. If there's an issue, they rather pretend it's not there, or they're gonna justify it. They're gonna belittle it. They're gonna tell you how no, it doesn't affect this, it doesn't affect that. Oh, it has always been like this. We always do it this way, and they never ask themselves why they are not ahead on their game because of that same thing that they don't want to address. That's the reason why we're not ahead because nobody's serious. Nobody's ready to sacrifice to do what it takes to really get to the next level. They're ashamed of their issue. You will see in Africa sometimes they don't want to show certain stuff. You will see these Africans people whine online. Oh, why did you show that side of Africa? Why did you take a camera and walk and show people the open gutters in Africa? Why did you show that dirty side? Why didn't you go to the other side where it's clean and show that? That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous because even that other dirty side is still part of you that you have to accept. Who are you trying to lie to? Are you trying to lie to yourself? And are you trying to make yourself feel good about your country when it's not what you want it to be? You want people to go to your country and only take a picture of the part of the country that's clean, and not and not touch on the dirty side of the country. Let me tell you, the British couch sitter. Oh my lord! If I start talking about Africa, about how we are, you want me to say names of the fake one? They're all fake. They are all fake. They don't address the issue from the root. They are all fake until they have somebody like me confronting them. Because they're gonna come here with their big English. They're gonna tell you how. No, don't say it like this, and because of that. Don't say this because of this. That's how they're gonna come here with their big English and trying to smooth stuff around. No, it's what it is. One of the realest people here on YouTube, right, is Magnesi. I like Magnesi because he says the truth. Especially, he's the only one that confronts these fake Africans, these delusional Africans. It's just like Tariq Nasheed, right? With these Africans on his platform, he says a lot of things that are true about Africans. You know, almost everything he says is true. I'm a big fan of him. So he is even funny as hell. He's funny, you know, but he tells us the truth. And the majority of Africans don't even get it because they always justify. When Tariq Nasheed said, but why don't you go and build up your country? You're going to hear all these Africans tell you stuff like, oh, the government this, the government that. But okay, the government this, the government that. That's true. The government is all everything that we claim it. But we have to, at one point, find a way to overcome all those challenges. You understand what I mean? We have to find ways to overcome our challenges. We cannot always come here and rationalize and justify and explain and say this. No, Tariq Nasheed is the, oh my God, he is good. I love him. I love the thing that he says. The way he speaks to Africans, I like it. When you guys go around, right, tiptoeing around Africans and say, oh, let's not say this. Oh, let's not say it like that. Let's understand the culture. Oh, let's respect the culture. What culture? What culture? What culture are you talking about? I see people here on YouTube, especially in section. So you will see this African say, when African American will complain about something in their country, they will come back, oh, you have to respect the culture. That's how it is over there. What culture? What culture? Listen, if something is not respectable, I don't expect anybody to respect it. If something doesn't make sense, it doesn't have to be respected. In Africa, we are very superstitious. I mean, the thing, when I say, I think Tariq's followers are funny. Yeah, they are very funny. Tariq himself is very funny. He makes me laugh so much. But I know he say a lot of stuff that are not true when it comes to their own community, like the African American community. He pretend that the African community is this great, is this awesome. They have no issue. Or everyone else is the problem except the African American community. That's not true. That himself, he knows that's not true. And I understand Tariq Nasheed a lot. And I agree with him. Trust me, I agree with Tariq like 90% of what he says. Like I love when he put this African in the place because they need somebody like that. African people, let me tell you guys something. So us Africans, right? We're really not that emotionally intelligent, smart, and that's the game that everybody else plays in the world. African people are very emotional. When I say the level of emotion is like, let me say, to me, when I look at how we act and how we reason and how we interact and even how we approach our issue, it's almost as if we stop growing emotionally after maybe like 15 years old. You will see grown men, grown women cry and whine about the fact that someone says something they don't like about their country. Even those, whatever the person is saying is the truth. Why? Because then they're not that emotionally strong to face the truth at all. They want to be they want to be basically like praised and flattered than facing the truth. And that's the game that everybody else plays in Africa. When it comes to like people like Europe, European and all that, or any other person that come in Africa that's not African, the best way if you want to go to Africa, right? The best way to get what you want, get over there and start praising everything. Even the don't speak against anything that is not right, right? Start like giving them compliments even when they don't deserve it. Start like praising the government, even the stupid things that they do that don't make no sense, that nobody's still doing it. Start saying things that's gonna make them feel good. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes, I used to call in on panel and always, hey Tunaja, thank you for being here. Tunaja, I'm talking about people like you too. You used to be good, Tunaja, until you started like playing the same game like other people. You come over here, we want to pretend that Africa is this when it's not. Africa is trash. Africa is trash. Africa is trash. When I say Africa is trash, I'm not talking about the land. The land is awesome. We were blessed. We were, I don't know, nowhere else is blessed, has more blessing than African. But we're doing nothing about it because our minds been possessed. We are possessed by other people. We don't even think for ourselves about ourselves. We are all focused on other people, what they think about us. We have a very low self-esteem, and that's something that's built in us and instilled in us from from very early childhood, that none of these panelists want to address because they are also victim of that, and they don't want people to look at them as if they have that issue, but they do. It doesn't even take to test them, is not even hard at all. You know, Africa, it's not going anywhere. When I see people here online, right, telling me about how Ghana is developing, my dear, my people, how is a country gonna develop when his people is not developing? I don't know. That's how you say. How is a country is gonna grow when the people of that country and is not growing? And when I say growing, I'm talking about growing in knowledge. The people of the country has to become knowledgeable. There has to be like a systemic plan on how to grow a country by educating their people. Because growing the country is not only coming over here and put this building here, put that building over there, be the headquarter of this. That's the type of growth that African peoples like are excited about. That's not growth, because the minute that somebody else that's that's smarter than you will come and continue making those deals that doesn't favor you, or that thing that you have built in the past can be taken over anytime. Okay, to Nadia, you say that now, but I will hear you on Brandon's panel, mm, on Samir Dana's panel. I will hear you on Kenzo's panel talking about some grandiose idea that African is like putting in place that's gonna make our future better. That's gonna do this and that. You guys like, I don't know. We are the youth. We're supposed to be the opposite of what the previous generation is. Because those people are the products, the direct products of uh, um of the people that colonize us. They were built, they were programmed to only view and think the way they're thinking. That's why I don't even like. I'm not about like saying, "Oh, let's overturn this government or whatever." It's not about that. It's not going to change anything. There's a you, until we decide to change the system that was put in place by um by Europe. A system is not a person. That's what we don't understand, and that's where I have a problem. That's why my approach is different from any other person here on YouTube. This a system is not a person. The system has to be dismantled. And one of the best way to dismantle the system, first of all, is to educate the people, to let the people know that what you're thinking, what you believe in is not the truth. Okay, there are some good signs on the continent too. Trade. Oh my God! Here he comes with all these big uh, trade agreements, Common Space Agency, and now they are setting up a counter-terrorism force to tackle terrorism and instability continent-wide. It's in your mind. Tunaja, let me see. Tunaja, come here. You one of the panelists that gets on my nerves sometimes when I'm listening to this panel. Tunaja, come here. Let's talk. I would love to have a conversation with you. I always see you. Yeah, Tunaja has to come over here. Tunaja, please call in. Let's talk. Let's have a discussion. Because I hear you on a lot of panel, still having those grandiose talk, those delusional talks that has no real root. You know, um, the British cow sitter. Let me tell you something. How Africans are, right? They like to talk. They like to plan. They like to say what's gonna happen, being planned, but nothing get done. Seriously, even when they want to implement, when they fake implementation, they're not even serious when they're putting down. Okay, Tunaja is here. Tunaja,
Yeah, thanks for having me. Seriously, I think some of the things you are saying is not fair, you know.
right?
Yeah, because there are people have a right to say, okay, some good things are happening, stuff like that. We are not in denial that the continent is in a mess, are we?
You
You
are
know,
no
how?
Tunaja. Let me tell you how you are.
Okay.
You dance on 2 feet. Okay, like it just
Mm-hmm.
depends who you have. I used to listen to you on what's her name? That lady. She doesn't even do her lives anymore.
Bijinois.
Oh my God, she's the best on this issue, African issue and Black people issue. Listen, she's not on any emotional whatever you guys do over here. When she gets emotional out of frustration that we don't want to. Uh, I'm a
Come
bit
together.
close now. 1 second. So yeah, ha- but other Africans get emotional because they they don't want to be looked at. They don't want people to look at them for what they are. They don't want because they have that deep rooted inferiority complex that when they're exposed, they really don't like to be seen that are vulnerable when we are. Now, to compensate, what are we gonna say? We're gonna say the thing that you say. You know how you always talk. Oh, Africans are doing this, they're doing that. To Nigeria, tell me how Africa is gonna build without building their its population.
See, I see. I don't. I'm not sure it's fair because I've said some really nasty or something that you would think maybe most of our men would challenge me for saying that. You know, I call our men the weakest set of men on the face of the earth to their face. That they have not defended their women, their children, and their communities as well as Asian men that are 5 foot tall. And our men didn't like jump into my throat and start arguing. They know that they've done things that are not, they're not doing their due diligence for their people. So if you want to like fix things, you have to start from understanding what the problem is, isn't it? And try to do all you can with everything you can to frustrate all the people that are stopping progress on the continent. And that is the kind of conversation, the arguments that I make to people. I'm not sugarcoating it. This is, and I've spoken. So the truth is, I've spoken some of these things to Nigerians, and I've had some Nigerians that say, you know what, you are blaming the white man. I say, how is that blaming the white man to say that these things are happening? They are doing this one, and we are not doing this one. There are two things. Somebody can be punching you at the same time. You are saying, you can also say, okay, this guy is punching me, but I'm not doing my best as a human being to defend myself. I should have trained as a boxer to, prevent the punches. So there are two sides to the story. Maybe sometimes what you are seeing is me coming out from the other side, like accusing the Europeans or accusing our own people. But it's both sides. We all want the same thing. The frustration you are expressing now, a lot of people share them. Like you're saying, man, I can't believe you agree with Tariq Nasheed. Tariq Nasheed, yeah, he calls out some of the things Africans do that is not appropriate. I don't think Africans will complain about that. But he's calling those things out in a derogative way, not to highlight a problem that needs to be taken care of. It's a way of saying, oh, you are not good. We are better than you. Stuff like that. And that
Dude,
is not,
what
yeah.
are you talking about? You see what? Okay, that's exactly where the emotional part of the lack of emotional intelligence Africans always express comes to show. It doesn't
Okay.
matter how somebody's calling out something. When it's the truth, you focus on it to Nigeria. That's who I am. I don't care if an African American is gonna come and tell me, "Oh, Africa is trash. America is better than Africa." That's the truth. Okay, I'm not gonna go over there argue. What is that gonna change? Because when you start making the argument from that standpoint, it's kind of like comforting yourself. You have you have to embrace the discomfort. We have to at one point accept to be uncomfortable, and and that's the only way that we're gonna start really deeply, seriously, because we are not serious people. Face our issue. We always rationalize. We always justify. You understand? We
Yeah.
always gotta find a way, a patch, how to patch it so that it doesn't sound too harsh in our ear. Why are we like that, Tunaja? I don't understand that part
See,
of us.
okay, I think maybe I didn't state it properly. I don't think the statement itself is the problem. It's the fact that he is using it to actually keep Africans and black people apart. He's not doing it to bring people together. He's doing it to break people apart. You see what I mean? If somebody wants to bring people together, it's wanting to highlight something on the other hand. You can highlight it all. And the truth is, Africans know it too. It's not like that's a new thing for
But he
Africans
doesn't.
to
That's not his
realize.
mission. Tunaja, he's not here to bring Africa together. He's not there to. That's not. Each
It's
person
a
is
black
doing what.
man doing that.
So what? So what? Nigeria, go to Nigeria, right? Bring Igbos and Yoruba together first. You
See,
understand? Before you
mm,
start going asking Tariq Nasheed to come bring Africans with African makers, you know.
see, the truth is, even in Nigeria, we have this thing that we do where we have so much self-flagellation. We spend so long and so much time elevating people that just talk about all the problems. That's what I see. We spend too long and too much time and elevating people like Tariq Nasheed, all those people that just call that problem in a nasty way. We all know the problems. We've always known the problems. What are they proposing as solutions? Go back and listen. That's how the solution works. Offer constructive solutions, not just say go back and solve it. That's not solution. Everybody knows you need to go back and solve it. You see
Uh,
what I
uh,
mean?
Tunaja, do you know how long you've been talking on this panel?
I don't know how long. Come on.
This other guys, what's his name again? What's his name? The guy that does you there sometimes, and sometimes you always in conflict with him. Afidemus. He calls you
Afternoons.
the the professional panelist. You are
Yeah, yeah.
talking to
Yeah.
Naja. You. Let me tell you,
Mm,
you. What have you done since you've been talking on this panel? Like, if I ask you
mm,
in your own small corner, what have you done that you're proud of to help solve this problem? Because this is not a problem that, we like to talk big, right? Talking about
mm,
Pan Africanism when we haven't even dealt with like tribalism. This is
mm,
something that is close to us that we can do something about then right now. We don't need a big plan like Pan Africanism because Pan Africanism, yeah, that's a big goal, right? But we
mm.
have micro goal right there. What have you
Yeah.
done, Tutunaja, around
Okay.
yourself?
Okay. Let me see. Everything I say, I'm not saying it for the sake of it. I put my money and my work where my mouth is. So, example is some of the stuff that I do on the continent myself. That's in Nigeria, where I get involved in the professions that I'm involved in. So I transfer knowledge. I work with people and do all kinds of stuff. So I'm not saying these things because just for the sake of it. I understand that you still have to do it on a granular level. You don't always have to accomplish grand goals. That said, all I have done is a trickle. It's nothing really. When it's just part of the equation that everybody else needs to do. But what will change stuff is when it really starts hitting the masses. And when you see, the thing is, some a realization has to hit everybody. I think everybody knows about these things individually, but it's happening out of sync. So for it to happen in sync, so that the consciousness takes over, you need a catalytic event. You need something grand to happen. It could be a president that comes to office that changes policy radically, that captures the imagination. You need something grand to happen. And I believe that Africa needs
Oh
that
my God.
seriously now.
I
See,
don't think so.
okay, keep
Tunaja,
saying.
you see, that's the stuff that I don't
So
like.
what does
Because
Africa need? Tell me what Africa needs. Then.
Tunaja,
I'm all
Tunaja,
ears.
you see, when you speak like that, right? That it remains like a dream. You know, when you speak like that, that's something that's easily achievable. Right
Mm,
now, there's so much that can be done that are attainable. That that you don't need a big plan. That you don't have to count on chance. That's typical Africa, right? On hope, on this, like everything has to be outside of your reach. You just have to sit there and pray, and that somebody big person come in the office and decide to do that. But what you don't understand is that there are so much that we can be doing, like us ourselves, like right now. We don't need anything.
see,
If
just 2 weeks ago, I got on a panel where a Nigerian presidential candidate was being interviewed, and he was taking questions. So when I asked him some questions, I called him out. I said, some of the things you are saying, you are basically lying to people, because these people in Africa right now, they are running the countries like as if they are all caretaker governments, are waiting for our recolonization again. So because they are not running our countries to become sovereign and progress from there, they are not doing that. And I tell him that the way our security forces are structured, the way we run our economy, the way our leaders run to Western powers to ask for permission to do anything, it tells you that these people, we are not running our countries to become sovereign. And if we are not, if the sign of sovereignty is when you start building your military to reach just standard level. And when I said that to him, he was trying to waffle around. I said, "You're just lying to people,
Yeah,
you know."
exactly.
So
And
this,
when you talk that big talk, you're doing exactly the same. That's exactly what you just explained, is exactly what irritates me in Africa, right? Because we do that and we want to preserve the face. Like, when they're answering those questions, they will say all the right thing. But
mm,
when it comes to implementing, it's nothing close to what they said. You see,
mm,
like the Ghana president, he does the same thing. That guy's
yeah,
just go around and be saying everything that every African that ever dream of African
mm,
becoming free, we want to hear. But when you and then you go to Ghana and you see what's still going on in Ghana, you're like, isn't it the president that was saying this the other day on TV? Even the basic. Listen to Naja. I don't like to have those big talks that you guys have on panel talking about a big project or whatever. My dear, I like now on the ground. What if you when you go to Africa to Nigeria and you even want to just do something to help the people around? I mean, the system is against you. I'm from Cameroon.
mm,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
I know Nigeria like that, like my pocket. I have been to several states in Nigeria. I, I I know Nigeria. I've been there several times. It's the same toxic dog mentality. You
yeah,
understand? It's a
yeah,
shame. So when people stay over here on on this panel, glorifying what we Africans are accomplishing outside of Africa, that should make us like that's not something that I even take pride of, to be honest with you,
mm,
because that
yeah,
just show how dumb and stupid we are. Because if you're able to achieve all those stuff, why is it not benefiting your people? Everybody is out here to
mm,
to thinking about how the next generation is gonna be this, it's gonna be that. That's how people are thinking, except
mm,
African. African don't care about the future generation. We did not care when we were doing the selling. I don't want to go back to that debate that never end. That you guys always argue who sell who, what. We started with that. We started there, and we're still doing it. We still
yeah,
doing it, and we still basically how am I gonna say, the people that will come after us, right, we still inherited that same mentality. Like African does don't like the African people, the people, they don't want nothing. They can be
mm,
disposable. They are just resources. That's what Africa is. Whether it's the land is a resources for people, the people on the land are resources. Because all of us running out here, going to Canada and selling houses in Africa, selling land in Africa to run to Canada, we're running there to be resources for them. So
yeah,
we're not looked at as people that can be protected, and that's something
mm,
that we don't need big plan like the thing that you're talking about. Military did this, military did that. Even, even when we don't have military, right? If we educate our people right, if we instill pride in our people, if we teach them the truth like any other person is teaching their children, we can.
if you don't build your military in any way, everything you build will be lost. You can lose them like that. Bam. That is, there is no, see, I give this example every time, and if you can escape it, you let me know. You go out every day with your doors open, and you go to work and you buy your flat screen TV, you put it in your house, and then every time you go back, you get a nice, um, furniture and nice stuff in your living room. But when you go out every day, you leave your door open and your windows open. Sooner or later, before the year runs out, you, especially when you put your address and put every content in your room on the internet, so people know that those things are there. Before the end of the year, you will lose everything. Why do you think that is? Because there's no security. If you can do that for yourself, why would you not wish that on your society and the community you live in? Because there are people that want to take advantage of us, and they've
Let me
been
tell you
doing
something.
that.
I have the perfect answer for you. You know, I listened to a debate. You were on Gina's
Yeah.
panel one day, and we were talking about that. And the ladies over there, Amina or whatever, the ladies there, they're trying to tell you something you never. I'm like, oh my god, if someone can get me on this panel, listen, let me tell you something. What you don't understand is that before you can have all that and still not be secure. If the people, because you need people, right,
Hmm.
to run those things, right? If the people that are there don't see value in themselves, they can still sell out easily. That's why on Gina Penner they were telling me that education is the first thing to do. When you build somebody up to find a value in themselves, they become. If we find value in each other, we become each other's really like protection. That means if we have all that equipment you're talking about, now we can protect ourselves. But if you give that equipment to people that don't know how, they will sell it. There is in Africa, what the only thing Africa value is money. Even with that,
That is because, see, come on. See, if you had watched my videos, because I made some this discussions on mine. If you had watched that first video I make, I think it was the first one or the second one. I did address the point how easy it is to change people's minds.
how do
We
we
keep
change
talking
money?
about. Let me explain it now. We keep talking about how we should, spend a long time educating our people. It doesn't take that long. There's an experiment I highlighted in that video that was carried out. They brought a group of people, into an area. They split them in half, and they just gave them a page each to read with just one alteration in the two pages, and it completely changed the outcome, the way the both sides behaved. One page, and same group of people, you just split them at random, and their behavior. Let me give you what they said. They just changed one of them. The page read I, me, my. Most of the stuff is in singular, individualistic approach. That's what is on that single page. Then the other group had a, instead of I, it was replaced with our, we, they, us, stuff like that. And they said, okay, both sides. Um, they asked them individually, what would you do to save a member of your group, and including, sacrificing yourself. The group that read I, my, me, stuff like that, about 30% of them volunteered to sacrifice themselves for their group members. On the other group that read we, us, our, the numbers are willing to sacrifice themselves for their groups is 90%. 90%. You see the gap. One page
Yeah.
can do. So
Hmm.
it tells you that human beings are easy to divide or to bring together.
Of course.
And that is not a deep education that you need. Is you have to take control of the environment so that what your people are hearing is not divisive message that they're giving us today. You have
But
to take go ahead.
yeah, but I don't. We're saying the same thing. Listen, the particularity with us Africans people is that our image has been destroyed so much. You understand that it's gonna take long to repair that. You understand? Our self love has been destroyed basically for years centuries. To
mm,
rebuild that is not easy. Because when you go back in history, don't forget, people, we still gonna face our history. Some people want to run away from it, but it catches you up very quickly because nothing has really changed. It just changed form nowadays. People that cannot understand don't understand, but people that can relate it to the past understand what's going on. You understand? So
mm.
what makes an African person don't even want to relate relate with African issue, or maybe feel the need to defend our value and all that, is all that history and everything he looks around um in reference to who he is. It takes away your self love and your self value. All that, it has
Yeah,
to be
see,
rebuilt. It has to be
I understand what you are saying. Self love and value and stuff like that is all good, but the moment the people you let them know, you tell them, yeah,
mhm.
it will take a while for it to embed in, but they will be matching on the same line. This is not only theoretical, it's also proven in history. If you look at how the Russians took over their country from the royal families of their this and wiped them out and instituted socialism, this is how it happens. Overnight, people can just turn, and you'll be shocked how quickly
Okay,
people
no,
turn.
no, no, hold on, no, 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 no. I don't agree with you. People in power can turn like that, but the population, the vulnerable population, the people, don't forget that they use different they can come in from different angles. They can come in like now we are being held down with the from our people in power, right? They kind
Mm,
of like serve as a proxy for the European, right?
mhm.
Now they're the people controlling us, but don't forget that if those people change, some people from the just like in China, they don't play. Like if you sell out, they deal with you. You gone. They don't
Of
tolerate
course.
stuff like that.
Mm,
You know.
yeah.
So it has to be like done from many angles. That's what I'm saying. Because in Africa right now, you cannot count on the people in power. You agree with me, right?
No, no, you can't. I've seen it
Exactly.
in close quarters recently in Nigeria, so you can't
Oh
count
my
on them. They're
God.
all sellouts. So far, anyway, that I've seen. I've not seen anybody that you can necessarily say they have not sold their people. And see, you have to understand the forces that are at play here. The Pakistani president was taken out of office recently, just about 2 weeks ago. And he came online now, on TV and said the Americans removed him from office because he wouldn't take sides between the war in Russia and Ukraine, that he wouldn't take sides. Something that they accorded the Indians. They didn't force the Indians to pick side because they needed the Indians against China. So they cannot force them. But they tried to force him. And they stated it in a meeting that they are having where they are taking minutes. They didn't even care whether they are recording it. Americans told him, you better tell our this thing or there'll be consequence. You are going to lose power. This is something that they put in their minutes and they recorded it. And they don't hide it anymore. Then they went ahead. The guy refused to take sides. They went ahead and gave bribe people in the parliament to remove him using a vote of no confidence. And this guy came on TV and said, I have evidence of what they did. So if they can do that to a nuclear power state, Pakistan, what what chance have we got? That is the force we are dealing with here. On Africom website, the American presence in Africa, that is the Africom unit that controls all the bases in Africa and how they operate in Africa. On their website right now, you can go there, you can see what they talk about Africa, what they say about Africans. They said with a few bucks, they use the term a few bucks and a few soldiers, they can get outsized returns. And they said a continent this size three and a half times the size of America, they control it with very little. This is something that basically they are bragging about online. They are not
Listen,
hiding it. So that is the force we are contending against.
listen, listen. Don't even compare Africans president to anybody. We are the bottom of the whole world. African presidents are zero. Nobody even like care about them. You understand? They they will volunteer. They don't even have to come and give them ultimatum because they volunteer themselves to do whatever the West asks them to do. That's because they don't view themselves that like it depends
Mm,
on what you think about yourself and your people. They have nothing
yep.
to protect. They have nothing to defend. These are people that they only
Mm,
these are people that their only moment of joy is to be viewed, is to mentally think they're friends with those people because that's how much uh,
yeah.
um, of inferiority complex they have. Our
Yeah.
inferiority complex don't come from only us. Our own president, like you see them, all our own people, they are the most inferior people. That their self-esteem is so low because to Naja, if you are somebody that has a great self-esteem, you will die. I mean, you will accept to die for a cause that you think is valuable, especially when it comes to the people that you say you are going to protect. If you find value in your people, you will not be threatened. You will not devalue yourself to be doing the stuff that they do. You ask for some sort of respect, some type of respect
Mm,
from those people, and it's only then that those people will even like have some respect from you, for you, because
yeah.
they don't have respect for our people at all, our president and all that. They don't respect them at all because they know that
Mm,
the moment they're going to give them money, they're going to change their mind.
mm. They
Yeah,
may respect. See. Truth is, they may respect Sankara, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to take him out anyway. They may respect Malcolm X. They will still take him out because it's not serving their interest.
but they
But
have to go around. It wasn't the but what, so
yeah.
what? So what? Listen, they take you to Nigeria yourself. If you go over there and be Buhari were to live today, and Tunaja was to take Buhari place, to me you would do the same thing to Nigeria. You
No,
would
I
do the
won't actually.
because when I
No,
hear
I
you talk,
won't.
right, all the time
Uh,
you talk, I know how you talk to Nigeria. I
mm,
know our people so much. You have no idea. Our
mm,
people, when they campaigning, they have all this big talk until they get there, and then when they see what it takes to really impose that respect, they're not ready for it. They're not ready for the smoke. They're not ready to
yeah.
sacrifice themselves because you have to be able to be okay with dying. You understand?
Yes, you
You
have
have to
to
be
be
okay
ready.
with dying. And the time that you will spend over there, if you're a real leader, you
Mm,
train your people so that when you die, whoever is gonna come up there will do like
mm,
you. They can die too, no problem.
mm.
We're gonna die until we're gonna find the person that is not gonna die. That's how it's gonna be.
I think as a leader, first things you want to start with is personal security. I think this is where
Okay,
most of our
there we
leaders
go
fail.
again. To Naja. There we go again. Personal
Hold
security.
on, you're not
No,
understanding. You're not understanding. What I'm saying here is that first you start with personal security, and secondly, you have a long line of even more right wing and more warlike leaders. A long line, maybe at least 100. You train people that will take over your place if you fall
okay,
just after you. So they will know if they take you out, they are going to get a worse person that is going to take over. If they take that one out, the next one that is going to come wants to just
okay.
kill them, doesn't want to negotiate.
How do you do that?
That's what I mean. You have to secure yourself because if you can't, somewhere along the line, somebody has to be secure and expand from there.
How do you
And
secure yourself? That's what I'm telling you. Be
by
factual.
first, you start with the people that you trust enough to be able to guarantee your security. Then you
Listen,
build from
there's
there.
no African that
You
you
can't
can
just
trust.
Uh,
Naja,
yeah, I don't know. Okay,
tell us,
fine.
we are
You
also
can create a system. You can create a system that is not necessarily based on trust. To the truth is, even Western countries they don't have a system that is just based on trust. It's based on
exactly
accountability. You
because it's
track
hard to
everybody. You
trust a
make
human
sure everything.
being. Yeah,
Yes, you
but
make
we're not
sure
that
that you can
smart.
match. Pardon.
We are not that smart to create something. But I keep asking you, you have to be factual. I don't like all the talking, like the theoretical talking, like you guys talk all the time. I like to be. That's how I am. Give me something. What kind of system can we create? In Africa, the leader is the person that runs everything.
Yeah.
You know, He
Yeah.
runs everything. He's the chief of justice, chief of military, chief of everything. Like
Mm,
in my country, that's how my president is. He's the one that
yeah.
is like the youth. He's the one. He's gonna put people over there, calling them minister or whatever, minister of
Mm,
youth and whatever. But he's the one that makes all the decision. Militaries over there. He's the one that give all the executive orders.
yeah.
Everything is him.
Yeah.
How do you create a system when you act like that? Because
Like,
everything turns
I,
around.
I think your country is quite unique. Your leader came in a long, long time ago,
Okay,
and
no, it's
so
not unique. It doesn't change anything. That's Ghana. Ghana has been changing.
not
Nigeria has been
compared to
changing.
Nigeria, man. Nigeria is changing presidents like they change shoes
My
every
friend,
time nowadays.
what did I do from the country? My sister-in-law just moved in Canada. After I told her, please don't move. She has a great job in Nigeria. Okay, her
Mm,
husband is a work for the for Shell in Nigeria. They have all the money in the world. They come
mm.
to the United States and my house all the time with all their children, like summer and all that. But she told me, no, you know what? I cannot stay in Nigeria. In Nigeria, in the long run, it's not gonna be good for. They move all their children to Canada. That's where they live now. What is changing the president is doing for the country, for people to still not see Nigeria fits for their future. To
No, I
still
agree with
see
you.
that.
I was making a different point. As I agree with you on that one, but I see what
Exactly.
okay, hear me out. What I'm saying about Nigeria right now, I said because of the issue, one of the biggest issue in Nigeria is that the people don't trust the government and they consider the government extremely corrupt and they cannot trust it, so they don't work with the government. They don't pay into the system. And so, first things first, if you want to deal with that problem, you have to try to restore trust. And to restore trust is to make government accounts public. Um, I've said this, and many Nigerians they hear it, they say yes, but they don't necessarily demand it of their leaders and their presidential candidates. You have to tell them, you know what, to track where all the money is going,
Ah,
we want to see your accounts. The technology is already
what are
there.
we talking about?
You
They're
want
not
to
going
see the
to.
current accounts
They're
of
not gonna
all
do
the
that.
government.
Stop to not just
Oh, you
saying
said
that.
they are not going to do that. You see, that's my point. That's the kind of fight that's worth fighting for. Not airy fairy fighting.
To not
That's
just
the kind of fight you want to fight for.
that's the big
Want to
stuff.
see it because when you see it, when you can see that money, can you imagine the transformation that is going to happen to that country? All the corrupt politicians they will pull their hands off because they now know people can see everything that they are doing. The problem is that people don't know what our leaders are doing with their money. He comes in, he goes out,
To
shadow
not just
stuff.
the
Yeah.
people don't even understand that they deserve to know. That's where education comes to play. That's why we're telling you that the real change start
Mm,
from the bottom population. Start giving those people the pride that was taken away for generation. You understand?
mm,
We have to start from there. We have to change our education system. That's why I always die on over here about education system. We have to we need
mm.
reform, education system reform, based
Yeah.
and center on us, on our children or our youth, to teach them that this is you, this is who you are, this is what you
What you
deserve.
are doing, you know what you are doing?
No,
You are trying to pass the buck to the next generation. I feel like we keep passing the buck to the next generation
no,
like a
no, no, no.
venereal
We have
disease.
to start
We need
from
to
there.
solve it now.
Oh
There
my
is no
God.
time to wait for the future. You solve it now. And those
No, no,
things you
no.
are saying that our people don't feel like they have the right to know. Yes, they may
They,
not
they,
feel like the right to know, but if enough of them know about it and pass the information on, they will start demanding it because that they understand. If they understand that that is how you can transform the system, whereby you can know where all the money is going. Now you cannot blame the government for being corrupt anymore because you can see where the money is going.
the person sitting over there in Port Harcourt that hasn't had a meal yesterday, you asking him to go ask the government where the money is going. Is that what you're talking about?
No, you just tell him that don't vote anybody that doesn't support making the government accounts public.
Who is gonna go tell them? Who is coming to tell him?
That is the
Yeah,
thing. That is the thing. What I'm doing now is one of those things. I like when I go on Nigerian panels. I tell them that that presidential candidate. I asked him that question. That does he support making government accounts public? He didn't answer the question. He tried to dodge it and dodge it and dodge it. This is. But if you pin a politician down, and God help you, you get one of the politicians to agree to running with that. One of the candidates to say, you know what, I will pursue this policy, even if just to get a little bit more popular. They will say, okay, I'm going to make the government accounts public so that you people will see everything that we are doing in real time.
but Tunaja, in Africa, Africans are very smart when it comes to stealing. You understand?
Mm.
Lying, corrupting. They can show you all that life and still find a way, okay, to steal. What you talking about?
Tell me how they're going to find a way. See, we have to understand that technology does
They,
solve a lot
they
of
will start
problems.
putting stuff that they did not do. They will start telling you that okay, $100,000 was taken out of account for I don't know to handle this matter, and then the matter would be some fake stuff that they just made up, and they just went and spent maybe like, just like you know, it's so hard
Yeah,
to even
I understand what you are saying, but this amount, when they are spending, it's not like they will spend it a week later, they come and account for it. The moment the money leaves the account, people will see it like, who is that?
you
And
know
the fraud agency will be checking it.
you know
So many charities will be checking it.
no charity. You're talking about
Charities, fraud agencies, even international organizations,
who
they will
is
be seeing everything. See, police, all of them will know what
international
is going on in
organization
the accounts.
and
I'm telling you.
international. Listen,
Eh?
international organizations are not to be trusted either. No, listen, there's a system.
Of
I'm
course
talking
not. I'm
about
not
this.
trusting them. I don't trust them. I'm just saying
Listen,
that everybody will be seeing it, and it's going to mean that it will be harder to steal. See, let me give you an
it's
example.
still gonna be a lie. They're
Let
going
me
to
give you
go
an example
and
now
tell you
that
how
you
you do.
cannot dispute. You know, cars used
Yeah.
to, people used to steal cars a lot before. They used to steal cars all the time. The reason why car theft has gone down significantly is because they put a GPS tracker inside it. So now, when you steal a car, it tells people where you are. It doesn't just tell you that, it doesn't just tell them that you've stolen the car. You've just taken them to your house where you stole the car, wherever you're taking the car to. So it means that stealing a car is becoming a liability for criminals. This is how you do it too. You put CCTV camera somewhere, crime reduces. If you put you make the accounts public so that every time you
Oh my
spend any
God.
penny, the people are seeing it,
Tuna
you are
just
going to
jumping
deter people from
ideas.
actually doing it.
Tunaja, you talk about
Yes.
you like grandiose stuff.
Oh my God. But it's a fact though. What is the grandiose about it? It's a fact.
Hmm,
Car theft has dropped because
okay,
of the GPS
I understand
trackers.
that. That's in a world, in a country that really care about those things you're talking about. Will you
Nigeria, they don't steal cars anymore. They don't steal cars as they used to do before, even in Nigeria, because they know now if you steal it, you're getting yourself in trouble. Why do you think
Tunaja,
they don't do that?
Tunaja, please talk about the people. I don't care about the cause. You
But
understand?
this is about the people, though. I'm telling you something that can restore trust between the people and the government.
That's
If
not
you,
what's going to restore trust between the people and the government is that the government is going to do what they say they're going to do and do it, and say what they say they're going to do and do it. That's it. If the
yeah,
government say,
but
okay, we don't have money to build this road over here, we're going to build it in 2 years. In 2 years, they come and build that road. That's just going to
in
take.
other words, you're relying on trust. Again, how is that going to solve the problem? You can't rely on trust.
Listen,
Trust but verify, they say.
that's what I'm telling you. That's how you establish trust by doing what you say you're
But
gonna do.
you can't trust the politicians. They are all rotten. They will steal and
But
steal
we're
till thy
talking about the
kingdom
same thing
come.
then. That's what I'm
Pardon?
saying. Tell me we're talking about the same thing. I'm telling you the issue is systemic. It's not even a person. I'm not about this person or that governor of this state or whatever. It's a system that has to be dismantled and
Yeah, but
rebuilt.
it's
And to
also a
dis-
system that you need to put in place to fix the issues that you have in the system. In this system that I'm talking about is one of the things that can actually work. We will have the most transparent system of government in the world if Africans start thinking like this. We are not trying to copy Europeans. When you are running, 10,000-meter race, every time you're chasing somebody behind you, instead of you to focus on getting to this in the destination and just leaving them in your dust. That is what we should be doing. We shouldn't be chasing Europeans. We should be thinking about something ahead of them, because our problem, we keep wishing for a savior to come and save us someday, when we have the
Why do we
tools
have to think
to take
about
control
something
from the
ahead of?
leaders.
Why do
Pardon?
we, why do we have to think about something ahead of them when we haven't
Because
even started what they have done?
when you keep chasing what they have done, you are not taking into the account the advantages they have.
Who is
We,
chasing what they have done? I wish we were even chasing it.
but what you are saying is that you have to trust the leaders to deliver as they deliver that's what's going to restore trust. That's not going to restore trust. The next guy that is going to come is going to do the same thing again.
I don't know what
Then we are back in the same square. You
I
have
don't
to
know what he's
deter
talking
them.
about.
No,
I have
you
no idea.
said, let me give you your word. You said the what is going to restore trust is when leaders do what they say they are going to do.
It's not, it's not only
But
leaders, it's everybody. When we build
exactly, but
a
people are
culture,
not
when
going
we
to do
build a
that.
culture of trust based on trust, that when someone say that he's gonna do something, he does what he's gonna do.
But that that is not going to work. People are corrupt and selfish. You're always going to have that 10% that is corrupt and selfish, and they will ruin it for everybody else. And you have to
Tunaja,
discourage them.
Tunaja, let me tell you something. You see how Africa is the state in which Africa is now, right? When I
Mhm.
say Africa, when I talk about Africa, I don't even care about the government, to be honest with you. I talk about the people. I'm more interested in the vulnerable population. I was in Africa. I know what it is to be poor in Africa. You
Mm,
and I that are diasporan now, we are so well off better than those people. In Africa, you can die from hunger. But people gonna come here on YouTube pretend that it doesn't happen in Africa. I don't even care about the government. The reason why African is such a mess is because we don't take care of our issue. When something is happening, we tend to ignore it and always pick and choose the big thing to focus on. You understand? In Africa
yeah.
right now, when diaspora and going back over there complaining about scamming and all that, where do you think it wasn't like that before in the 80s? It wasn't like that. People were not scamming in Africa like they're scamming now. It's because of poverty. You understand?
Mm,
It's because of poverty, because people don't see the future. Everybody is on the survival skill. Uh, uh, um,
mm,
they
yes.
always, that's why you cannot even build long term business, trusting relationship with because when I'm talking, you bring in a politician or whatever. It's not only about them. The people that become politicians were the people that were in the midst of everybody else yesterday. That's why I'm telling you we have to change
Mm.
the education system. We have to bring up an education system that value the people, that
See, it's
empower
one
the
thing to
people.
keep saying we have to change the education system, but it's another thing to ignore the space that is required to be able to change the education system. Do you think our leaders don't understand that it's good for them to have, Afrocentric education system? They know that, but why do you think they have not? Because the environment doesn't allow them. You have to create the enabling environment for them to be able to do
I
those
don't,
things.
to Nigeria, I don't think we understand uh, the depth of how valuable it would be to change the education system. I don't even think yourself, to Nigeria, you
I
understand.
understand it
You don't.
perfectly, but I'm on your side on
You
this one.
are
I'm
very
saying, how do you get
superficial.
from here to there? If you want to get from here to there, you can't just change it radically and say, I want to do what I like. No, you can't. They will tell you, if you do that, it's a hostile act, and they're going to start sanctioning your country. And our leaders will be like, no, 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 I'm not going to do it. Just forget that I mentioned something like that. This is why they have not done it, because they feel like the West is going to penalize them for it. You know, let me say something. Kagame said the other day that all they did was say, okay, we don't want all these fairly used clothes that they are sending from this in the US to be coming to their country. So like a dumping ground for fairly used clothes, that they don't want to use it. But what did the Americans do? Because they said they just didn't want clothes to be brought into their country, they tried to sanction them with the AGOA, this thing funding that they give to African countries. So That is what he said. So if they can threaten to sanction you because you say you don't want fairly used clothes, imagine trying to change the education system to be more Afrocentric and
Oh my God.
technically turning against them. They will come at you. And that's why I keep saying if you want to
I
do
don't
that,
care.
you have to secure yourself first.
To Naja, I don't care.
So you want to fail then, in other
Listen,
words.
to Naja, that's why there's no leader in Tamil in Africa. Even you, I'm sure that if you go, if you access the leadership position, you're just gonna be like the other ones over there. You don't understand. You don't need to ask
Oh
no.
my God.
You don't need to.
If they elect me, man, they're gonna be shocked the kind of things I will pass within a couple
You
of
don't
days.
listen. Listen. You like we like. I don't know why we are. That's some. Tunaja, we are wired very different from other people. Like I have taken time to really study Black people and African people. Our issue is far from even all those things that you said. We all spend time to say Europe doesn't want this. We are we are damaged as people. Even the way we perceive the world around us is wrong. Even the way we see ourselves, the value in ourselves is because you saying that European is gonna say this, gonna say that. So you were expecting them to agree with you. Why would they agree with you if it's something that can, in any type of way, be a threat to the position that they have, the
Mm,
powers that they have on us? I don't
mm,
expect them to agree. I don't even care what they're gonna think about it. If it's
mm,
me, I don't care. And if I'm smart enough, I'm gonna be prepared for exactly the fight that it would take
mm-hmm.
for it to happen. I will not be sitting over there. The fact that we always think about like, oh, they're gonna that makes us inferior.
See, let me tell you something. If they made someone like me a leader, one day they make the mistake of doing that, see, you know how they say that sometimes a decade can happen in a week, yeah, or a week can happen in a decade. In my case, a decade can happen in a week. They will be shocked the rate of change that will happen because I'm not going to look back at all. People will be like, "What is going on here? What kind of laws is this idiot passing so quickly? He's not letting people take a breather." That is how you have to move because when you move that way, you don't give them chance to react. You have to move
Well,
rapidly, secure yourself very quickly. All this slow motion movement our leaders are doing, and I think that's how it's going to happen. It has to happen very, very quickly. Boom, 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 boom. You know, the moment I get investing, I'll say every local government area in Nigeria, you have to send 500 men for
Tuna,
training.
Tuna, you always talk about grand stuff.
But
Let's
that is what it's going to take. That is what it's going to take. No country ever did it with small stuff. No, neither did India, China, Russia. None of them did it with small stuff. It's going to take a grand movement to
no, I don't
the
think so.
forces we are fighting against. Oh my God. You're talking about France. You're talking about the US. You're talking about China. You're talking about all these powers around the world. And you think you are just going to knock their hand from the food that they are eating without a grand movement. They will squash you. They will squash you before you
This
make
is
one,
really
two moves.
this is really the reason why we don't move forward because everybody thinks that you have to make a big, gigantic. That would have been possible if we were people that were being respected in the world. But given that we are under the control of somebody else, and we don't have our leaders in our side, and our leaders first of all are not even people of value. They're not even ready to fight the fight. You understand? It doesn't even take much.
Hmm.
If African people were are able to like make deals with China, with Russia, whatever,
Russia.
or Russia, that means they have some room they can maneuver. You understand?
Hmm.
That means that room that you have, if you're somebody of value that understand the really the world you live in, and
Hmm.
the objective and the and where you want to go, There's so much that you can do.
Yeah, sorry.
There's so much that you can implement.
Mm. Oh, sorry. You see, I'm so correct that even your body's rejecting your ideas. Sorry about that. Hello.
Yes, let me have a
I hope
cup
it's
of
not so
water.
bad. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I have COVID. That's why I'm
Yeah,
talking.
I think I'm coming down with something myself. Oh, I think I'm feeling better today. I was coming down with something a couple of days ago.
Okay, listen.
Hmm.
Before, when I talk about changing education system, it can be progressive. It can be progressively. It's
Hmm.
not even about like saying things that are gonna be entire European. It's only about like establishing the truth. You understand? Africans children are not educated properly. They are
Hmm.
not even educated. They are basically miseducated. Even the even the education that we get from being in the diaspora is basically a European center education. You agree with me, right?
Yep, that's
It's not
true.
Africa center, but it's not the same education that we're getting in Africa. It's not the same thing. It's not
Mm.
the way. It's not in Africa. They don't teach you critical thinking skill. That's something that was taken away
Mm.
our
That's
education
true.
system home. When I talk about education all the time, that's the first thing I'm talking about. When changing this education system, I'm not talking even about the history, about the
Mm.
big thing to buy. No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about educating a child that's gonna start being curious about his environment. That's when
Mm.
you start creating the leaders of tomorrow, not the people. You start creating leaders, not followers. In Africa, even our own parents, they are followers. You rarely find leaders in Africa. Even yourself when you talk, right? That's why I'm telling you that if you succeed, if you to access the power, you're gonna do like those same people because you were not trained yourself to Nigeria to be a leader. You and
Mm.
I, that's something that when you realize that you start yourself finding ways and educating yourself on how to be a leader. We don't have those skills. Because it wasn't instilled in us. But the other people, other continents, that's how they train their children. That's how they teach their children. In Cameroon, that well, you go over there, this is how they teach you in class. Oh, what is history? This is the teacher
Mm.
right on the board. History. What is history? And she's gonna define history. History is the knowledge of the past based on evidence, and that's what the
Mm.
children are supposed to memorize. And when it's exam time to take the test, she's gonna come on the test ask you what is history for you to regurgitate whatever the definition she gave you. You
Yeah.
don't you don't even say it in your own word. They don't even encourage you to use your own word or your own understanding. And no, it's not like that. That's the education I'm talking about. Even on the college level, it's so
Mm.
basic. That's why our children and people always wonder why African children come to United States and in the diaspora and succeed. It's because over there they value education. They instill in you the proper what am I gonna say? The proper attitude towards education. That's the only thing. It's not because African children are more intelligent than American children. No, it had nothing. These American children, Black American children that people you guys talk over here on YouTube and demonize and all that. To Nigeria, they are very very smart. They
Mm.
are very smart, very even compared to African children. When it comes to critical thinking, you understand they have their critical thinking is on point. It's
Mm.
because us we all about indoctrination, education. So when you go to school, you have to like know the thing that they're teaching you. You have to memorize it.
Mm.
You have to be able to reproduce it. That's why We're good on grades. But when it comes to critical thinking, African people are not critical thinkers at all. They don't have that skill.
I think that sorry, um, I just feel like I don't know why you think that we are talking bad about African Americans. We don't. I don't anyway.
No, it's not even African people talking bad about American people. It's American people themselves because they don't want to deal with their own problem. You know, we have that illness of always thinking that others are better. They over here on YouTube thinking that African people are better than African. And when they do that, it gives African people a false sense of pride that they don't. You understand? Because
Mm,
African people are, first of all, people that have a major inferiority complex. So when they hear somebody saying that they're worse than them, it makes them kind of like feel a little bit better. And then they start
mm,
ignoring their problem and focusing on that. Because like sometimes you will listen to these people talking about insulting African American people over here on panels, talking about how they're doing this in their family or that or that. The same thing that African American people complaining about, we have it in Africa. We have it in our family. But people don't look at it with that eye, but that same eye. They're
yeah.
complaining. Look at how our family is becoming. Look at all these modern days women over here on YouTube, on Instagram, or whatever. All those girls, they want to behave like African Americans women now because they watch all this love and hip hop or whatever, Housewife of Atlanta or whatever. They want to mimic all that stuff. They don't even know how it affects the African American community. And then because we don't have that critical thinking I'm telling you about, we don't project ourselves in the future and start seeing what that can. And we always have like a blueprint of what have happened to other people that we can use as a template to kind of anticipate on what we might be facing tomorrow.
Mm,
No, we don't think like that. We are so emotional. We like everything that makes us feel good. Want everything that we hear that's like music in our ear, and then we forget everything. We over. That's typical of how we are. That's how we
mm.
are. So when I look at it, it saddened me.
Yeah, I think it's okay. I think maybe the way it came across at first was like you were like, "Oh, we are not serious people." I think there are some people that are serious. It's just many of them don't know what they are up against. Maybe I don't even have a clue what we are up against. Maybe it's even greater. See, my belief is that whatever we think we are up against, multiply it by two or three because it's probably going to be that difficult to deal with, and just to be sure, because there are so many of the bits that we don't even know about that has already been put in place to sabotage our system. And this is why I feel like our leaders that have come in the past, they were not ready for all the intricacies involved that they have to deal with. You have to be paranoid to the extreme, but not necessarily to the point where you start appearing as if you're crazy and killing people all over the place. But you have to be prepared for everything. If let's say someone like me, if I want to build anything, I'll start from my own personal security and expand it from there. And it has to be hardened, not based on trust, based on clever, this is systemic, this insecurity. That will be very hard to penetrate. And when you build and you become strong enough, even if you have like 50 people that are tough, know what they are doing, those people can take over a country. If you have a core of 50 people that know what they are doing, they can take over a country and turn that country around. So you just have to know what you're doing and start building from the core. Anybody that comes later on to watch the video, they need to understand this. Don't ever think the things you know is the only threat you have to face. It's always greater than you think. It's
Listen,
always 3 to 5 times greater
I'm
than you
in
think.
medicine. I'm in healthcare. I take care of
Yeah.
patients. They told us in school when a patient comes to see you, it's not about the symptoms that the patient is telling you that they have. It's about what you don't know. You understand?
Exactly.
What you see is already there. It's easy. But
Hmm.
your what you have your goal is to figure out what's going on that you don't know. Exactly.
Very
But
well
don't
said.
think like that. To Nigeria, we don't think like that. That's what I'm telling you about critical thinking. And exactly
Mm,
that's what they keep like reminding us. You have to be a critical thinker. A typical
mm,
African only. Like,
mm,
don't he only see what he can that it physically appeared in his eye. He's not over
mm,
there to think about anything else that's not there. That's why
yeah.
when we start talking about the possibility of
Ah,
all this stuff, let me drink some water.
okay.
That's why people are always so defensive when you start allude to some possible other stuff that may occur. They will be telling, oh, you're so pessimistic. Oh, don't talk about us. For now, it's all here. Oh, blah, 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 blah. We are not forward thinker. That's why I'm telling you guys that we are not serious. And even into Nigeria, if we sit down and draw a blueprint of what we're supposed to do from where we are now to get to the next level. When I say next level, I'm not even talking about like being um where we're supposed to be, or maybe being as a competitive with other people. I'm not even talking about that. All I want just to see is even have the mentality to even understand that there's something wrong, because the majority of us don't think there's something wrong. There's
Mm,
something viciously wrong
yeah.
with
They
us.
don't
And that
understand how tricky it is.
we do not. And my worry every single day, it's about the future generation.
Yeah.
Because we should have done more than what the people before us did.
Yeah.
We but unfortunately for Africans right now, we're living in an era of distraction. We love and adore entertainment. And that's
Yeah.
something that when I came to United States, right, I did not understand initially. I used to hear African American complain about that
Mm,
they have to move away from entertainment and become competitive in other area, because they used to complain that they're only celebrity, like the only like rich people earn their money from entertainment, stuff like that. And that it, even though it's good, it's money is money, right? But we need more than that to be strong. That's
yeah.
something that they really, really campaign. And
Mm,
they, yes, tell mom and all that to keep the children in school, not only want them to play sport and have the scholarship to go play sport and all that, because you still need the knowledge to keep that money for a long time. You need that. But
of course.
now, even though the African family used to we value education, but we are more and more taking that direction too. I'm saying it every single day here. People are
Mm,
more and more valuing entertainment. And in Africa, I don't know about Nigeria, but even it's the same thing. When you look at Nollywood, it's nonsense. Nollywood is nonsense. All those actors and actresses, all all they all they do, right? Their model are all entertainers. They always
yeah.
focus on Beyonce, everything
Yeah.
that's in America, that's their model.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these people don't even understand the world where they're going. In America,
Yeah.
they don't, the entertainers are not the model. No. Even though the youth like that, but that's not where we should draw our inspiration. Even in my own country, people will be telling me about that. Oh, Beyonce did this. I'm like, Beyonce is an entertainer and she has her life, private life, beside
Mm,
entertainment. Where she's not entertaining, you guys don't know what she values. You guys don't know what she's doing in her house. You guys don't know her plan with her husband. You don't know none of that. But you're taking her entertainment side and drawing it as your reference point to plan your life, to even act up with your husband, your all that. So all that craziness. I don't think African people understand that. They don't understand what's going on. Like, our community is a mess. When African Americans talk about theirs, but we have no courage to really face our issue. We come over here and pretend every single day.
mm. I think that both sides have serious problem, like serious issues within, and it's just gonna take people within the communities to actually do the right thing to resolve some of all this problem. Incrementally, for me, a lot of people think economics is important to start with first. But I think economics is going to happen anyway, one way or the other. But eventually, that economics, whatever economic gain we make, will be lost if we don't anchor it on a security basis. If you don't have any security, you don't have a strong security posture, forget it. All that you just build it for other people to come and take and do whatever they like with, and so that is the basis. I don't know what they are doing now on the continent, but I can see some moves that appear to be like these people are beginning to understand that things are not nice from the way the other people treat us. If you look at the South African president, the way he's sounding recently, it's almost like every time he's having a fight with somebody. Algerian president always having a fight with Europeans over one issue or the
But
other.
Tunaja, don't be fooled by that. I'm not fooled by that. Let me tell you, I'm not fooled by none of that. They all get upset because they're realizing that they're not being liked. But the moment that if the Europeans show a look, I know black people. Yeah, I know us. The moment that a European will show a little bit of like, I like you, that's enough for him to sell the rest of people. You understand?
Maybe you have a point there. However, to be fair, it's not about like they just said. Okay, South Africa should pick sides like between Ukraine and Russia. South Africa was like, no, 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 I'm not doing that, and was really, really determined about that. So is that about picking sides? Is that them offering South Africa something? I get your point. I believe that if they offer South Africa some kind of incentive, like $20 billion loan or $50 billion loan, they will sell. True, I agree with you on that one. But see, while they have not sold, you have to take it for what it is, isn't it? If you can't reject yes for an answer. If somebody says, if you tell somebody to do something and to behave in a certain way and they do it, you can't be so skeptical to the point whereby you even reject it when they do it. So what would you accept then?
My dear,
See my point?
they're not doing nothing because they haven't healed. First of all, you have to be somebody that's someone that's. But anyway, Tunaja, let me give let Mr. Uganda. He just joined us. Thank you, Mr. Uganda, for being here. I have been battling with Tunaja for for
Man, I must say, man, Mr. Uganda is very disciplined. He has not shown up anywhere else. I don't know where he just. Where did you come out from?
I don't know. I blocked Mr. Uganda. I don't know. I don't know how to unblock unblock him, but he found a way to unblock himself.
I've not seen him anywhere else. What did he do for you to block him? Jesus.
It was a mistake. You know, I would not block him. This is one
Oh
of
my
my
God.
favorite person. I love
You
Mr.
blocked him by
Uganda.
accident. Wow.
What an accident.
Welcome, Mr.
No,
Uganda.
but the British, the commenter, the British couch sitter, that's me. I'm the British couch sitter. So I've been
Oh,
watching
that's
from
you.
that account. Yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying your discourse with Two Niger. I did feel like you were being a bit too hard on him, only because to Amazing, it's almost as if you want the answer to appear like you want it to be formatted in a way that's like the YouTubers who just scream about issues all the time, who just say, "Oh, it's this issue, it's that issue." You want people to call their communities dumb and stupid, and it's like we can't always do that. I think for what it's worth, Tunisia does have a point with the security thing, and I'm glad that he sort of held through holding that point for the last few months because the more we do look at things, we don't have a stable security structure. And I think that's just a step towards the solution. It's better than nothing. It's better than people who just tell you what the issues are and they're not giving you anything to go with it. What good is these YouTubers who come on here and they just say, oh, the community is shit, the community is stupid, oh, we have this issue, that issue, yet they don't offer any solutions. Are we here to break people down or are we here to offer them something to work with?
Exactly. Exactly. That's the whole
Okay.
purpose.
Okay, hold on. Let me answer. So, Mr. Uganda, right? It's not about it's not about talking the issue about the issue without solution, right? Talking about the issue first of all, it creates awareness because my first the problem that African people have first is that they're not educated on what the issue are because we focus too much on other people. At least if we when we put our issue on the table, Even knowing that is an issue is a step for me. You understand? Because it prevents you from like making it worse at least. Because the thing that we do, to me, is like taking us like a century back. We don't even realize that we shouldn't be going that direction. We should, even if we're not going any direction, at least let's stay in the same position. But when we're going backward, that's what the part that scares me. When everybody is distracted on things that are not, that doesn't matter. That's not even like helping. That will not even help in the future. Is destroying. And the security issue again is like to Naja. I don't say that we should not focus on security, but to me, that's not going to solve the problem, because even the security that you guys talking about is what level of security? Are we competitive? Can we be competitive when it comes to security? We don't even have well trained people. Look at our police, even just the police, they cannot even run.
see, see, you start from, see, if you can't start from the top, you start from the bottom. You start from, even if you just they just have machete in their hands, it's better than zero. You see what I mean? They said, you can't be complaining when you don't have anything. You have to start from somewhere, because if you don't have anything, because what security does is, even if they don't have guns, they just have buttons. They are like nerve endings of a nation. If they are everywhere, spread everywhere, if something is going wrong in the country, you will know, and you will be able to respond, not just know. One of the things our Nigerian government is doing, they keep talking about, oh, we need technology, we need advanced technology to be able to combat terrorism. But even the guy that works in this is intelligence agency says, what is the use of technology when there is nobody there to stop the people from doing those things? You can find out that somebody is going to attack somewhere 30 minutes from now. But what if it is 20 miles away? How do you get there? What if the road that you have to travel is blocked? How do you get there? If you have an helicopter, by the time you are there, they're already gone. So you have to have people everywhere to deny them space to operate. So because what that does is you create a kind of nerve ending whereby if they do something at one spot, they will trigger a security alertness, the whole region or that whole area, and the people will converge there. So instead of it becoming a situation whereby they are coming to compromise your system, they are getting themselves into a trap, because it's like a rat trap. Anywhere they go, there are people that is going to surround them. That is what you want to do. Our countries don't have people. Our own national security advisor came on TV and said, we can't secure our borders. That literally he threw his hands up and said, we can't even secure our borders.
So when
What
you're
have
talking
you got
about,
200 million people for?
so Tuna John, when you talk about security, so you're talking about the people, the personnel. You're talking about like
Yes,
training people. Is that what you're talking about? You're not
yes.
talking about like like the guns and stuff like that. The
No, I
military.
see. I'm also talking about the guns, because the reason why I say these things is because you see, what people need to understand is that what is killing our country is not only our ability not to fight external wars, it's our ability to prevent internal sabotage that is going on repeatedly. People are being
No,
assassinated, blackmailed, and all kinds of stuff is going on the clandestine operations to undermine the nation. It's happening all the time. This is what they are bragging about on African website.
oh,
And
okay.
I think Mr. Uganda is in UK. I don't know whether he saw the series program that Sky News was doing, I think a year or so, 2 years ago, about how nations undermine each other's internal infrastructure and their systems. They say that's another form of warfare that we have not even woken up to at all. That, how can you not understand that somebody can? If I want to defeat you, sometimes I don't need to go to war with you. I will undermine your system. If you allow me to undermine your system, I will undermine it. I'll make sure you never get power supply. I'll make sure your judges are corrupt. I will make sure your leaders are corrupt. That is how you undermine the nation without even going to kill them. But because then all you need to do is kill the guy that wants to do the right thing. They leave the one that wants to do the. You don't even have to bribe the rubbish one. Just leave them. They will do the job for you. That do you know how efficient that is? That is what they are doing with us. And
But
to
that
stop that, you need to blanket the country and have an awareness, protect your infrastructures. At least that way it's harder for them to undermine your country. They have to spend good money to undermine your countries.
Tunaja, yeah, what you just described is exactly what we are the spell we under, right? That's exactly how we being controlled, right? But if you succeed at like manipulating the mind of those people, you see that you can conquer them anytime you want to. You can
Hmm.
come from different angle. It doesn't even depend. You don't even want to. You don't even have to come from the top. You can even come from the bottom. You can still
Mm,
succeed in penetrating the system. That's exactly what it's happening with us, and that's what I'm saying. That we have to get the mind of our people correct. We have to instill in our people
mm,
the self-worth, because if we do that, what happens? I mean, you cannot just come like anyhow and have an easy access to us, because we're gonna be protected. I don't need to be watching the next person see if he's doing the wrong thing, because I know that he's gonna do the right thing. I know
mm.
if they have the right mind, because even with the security, they're gonna pay them, Mr. Uganda. They're gonna pay them. They're gonna give them money.
See, but that's the thing now. If everybody
That's
is on
true.
the same page, they will pay one, they will pay two, they will pay one of them that will refuse and will reveal their game. See, the example shows clearly that when you build a large standing army, by and large, you are able to secure your countries. It's just the nature of life these days. You look at Myanmar, look at North Korea, look at Russia, look at China. In short, those ones I don't want to call those bigger ones, but there are smaller countries, Eritrea. When you create a strong standing army, you are more likely to keep your state from international foreign influence to pervert the system. Eritrea has one of the highest education, this in literacy rates in Nigeria, in Africa right now, and they are supposed to be poor, and their youth are supposed to be running away from their country because they are poor, they are under sanctions. But they have a standing army, and that Eritrea is the only country that voted against the West about Ukraine and this thing, about Ukraine and this in Russia war. Eritrea voted against the West, so no African country dares to do that because they don't have the level of security that they need to have. Can you imagine Ghana having 15,000 soldiers? That is ridiculous. That's, do you know if there is, God forbid, there is a civil war in Nigeria right now, and the refugees alone, that 15,000 soldiers, what is Ghana going to do with them to stop Nigerians from moving into their country? He- they will just, you are going to pull them away from presidential palace, from protecting the ministers, from protecting everybody to come and stop them from crossing the border. They will flood the whole West African region. And if Nigeria is not secure, you see how dangerous it is for Africa itself, that it will set Africa backwards. And that's why when I argue with Nigerians, I tell them, you have to realize the position we are in. We can sabotage the continent and just as much as we can save it. That we need to start understanding. Many Nigerians don't even come close to understanding some of the conversation we are having here. They don't even come close. All they keep thinking about is not northern Nigeria, southern Nigeria, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Fulani. That's all they are thinking about. It tells you that we are being conditioned. We have been conditioned to see the world in a totally different way that doesn't benefit us. We
And
should
that's
be
what I'm
thinking about
talking
coming
about.
together and say enough is of this. We need to see. My own take is that if I was the one that was in office, I was like, the first day, I was like, my people, you know what? Everybody, every local government area, send 500 men, 500 from every local government area in this in Nigeria. You have to send them to the central for training. They all have to train. Every graduate has to do military service for 2 years or 1 year at least. You have to start learning to defend your land because even your debts have to be defended. Everything you do in this life, you have to protect yourself. Only black countries are not protecting themselves. This is bad. Only black countries. No other part of the world behaves like us.
But
It's a
why?
record.
Have you ever asked yourself why?
I think that is because we have never been free. I said it before.
Exactly.
I think our leaders are running our countries like caretaker administrations. They are awaiting the return of the colonial powers. They are not running their countries like countries that want to become sovereign. And begin to see the signs of that now. But we've always seen the signs, but it always gets snuffed out. It gets snuffed out. Look at when West Africa wanted to have their own currency. Guess what? France came the last minute and changed the whole thing and stopped it dead in its tracks. African countries backed off, French speaking countries backed off and went with their colonial powers. Or some people would like to prefer to call it colonial masters.
Okay, tell me, if people are, if people view themselves like that, and if people are perceived like that, how do you expect those people to behave differently? That's the part I don't understand.
Like
If
I
it's
said, like I said, it's about catalytic events. And somebody, if they elect somebody with even they might even elect somebody with that is even well more advanced and more intelligent than I am because they have access to more information. If they mistakenly elect somebody in one of these countries that are like Ethiopia, Nigeria, even Kenya, one big country in sub-Saharan African country, if they elect somebody in one of those countries or Congo, and the person decides to take radical action, like the kind of stuff I'm talking about here, you will see the reverberation all over the continent. Because at least at this time, a lot of people have that mindset. They want things to change and they want Africa to start standing on its 2 feet. But we don't have those leaders right now that are radical. The Kagames, Magufulis, they are not radical. We keep calling all these people radical. Go and look at their country. They are still founded like baby nations, like they are not even mature nations. Any nation, the only nation I see in Sub-Saharan Africa that is founded like a solid nation is Eritrea, because they have a strong security outlook. For whatever reason, the West felt like they need to leave them alone. I suspect that is because they want Eritrea to be strong to prevent Ethiopia from having access to the sea. I think that's my own conspiracy theory. They allowed Eritrea to be strong so that Eritrea can prevent Ethiopia's access to the sea. And basically, Ethiopia is the most powerful country in that region. It's over 100 million or just 100 million. Ethiopia's population outnumbers about the 4 countries surrounding Ethiopia. That Ethiopia outnumbers all of them, and yet Ethiopia is the only one that is landlocked. So you see the magic that just happened there. All the countries like Somalia that is next to Ethiopia is at war. This Eritrea is extremely strong country. So they block off Ethiopia's access to the sea. You can't even make it up. If you look at Africa, you just look at the dynamics going on the ground. You can see why it exists like that. Why things are so bad. This world is almost like they use surgical instruments to manipulate our nations into existence, to weaken us as much as possible.
no, our mind is conquered. Our mind were conquered. That's what it is. We are even neurologically damaged to Nigeria. There's a
I
South
think they were just
African
smarter
guy.
than us. They were just smarter than us
No,
once upon a time.
yeah, I don't even know. Listen, they outsmart many people. It's not only Africans, but there's
Mm.
some type of neurological degeneration when it comes to us. There's a South African guy that said it in Mr. Uganda Live one time. It was last year, and everybody turned against him. And that's what I said about the way we behave. The moment that you say something that's gonna make us look bad, oh my God, everybody raised like it just like it activates everybody defense, like everybody become defensive. The guy was saying that what we went through, I don't know, he was saying scientifically, it was proven that something, whatever. Everybody just like got against him. But I think with time that he was completely correct. Because even the smartest African person, when you talk with them, right, when you have a discussion with them when it comes to our condition and our future and all that, future generation and all that, there's always a cap. There's certain level that when you reach, it almost as if they cannot go above that, think above that. Like they would just like surround themselves and say, "Oh well, I don't know what we're gonna do anymore. That's it. Maybe the next generation is gonna be the generation to save the black race or whatever." Other people are able to like really look at things and see in detail what's wrong with it, and make a suggestion of how we can turn things around, except us. We always have this discussion that never ends about our
Mm.
position. It always like like round and round and round and round, when really, really, there are little steps that if we were taking to Niger, the next generation will not have to start from the bottom like us. They will just have to like continue and hang it to the next generation and so on and so on. But that's not how we are. We don't think forward. That's the reality. We're gonna sit over here 2 hours talking about this and leave this place without any type of like conclusion.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we're gonna be here talking about the same thing and the same thing and the same thing and the same thing.
See, I think it's a process really, and every day I'm coming to newer and maybe better realizations of how things can be done. And like one of them, I was asking myself the other day, is that how do we convince fellow Africans that it's in their interest to think um, of the group first instead of their tribe or their religious affiliations first? And we have to start thinking of persuasive ways to get them to that position. And I think part of it has to involve empathizing with them and understanding that, okay, yeah, your religion is very important to you, but for you to be able to practice your religion in more peaceful environment, prosperous environment, and build even bigger mosque, maybe this is what you need to do to be Africa first to get there. So we have to learn the language of persuasion. The ones that understand these things, what I tend to find is that some of us, we use language that people can't relate to, ordinary people can't relate to. We have to learn the kind of language your everyday African is going to relate to, and it can persuade them. Because if you persuade them, they that use that common language, they are even better at persuading other people that are like them. You see what I mean? So, and I'm going to even be having a show about that regarding the persuasive discussion, how you can persuade, religious supremacists and tribalists on the continent to see the to put the continent first, and they put the larger group first than their individual sects or this a tribe first. I think the key is to let them understand that if you put your tribe first, then you have to understand that you have to put the continent first. If you tie that thread tightly
Okay.
enough, they will understand.
Okay, Mr. Uganda, do you have something to say about that before I respond to you to Nadia?
No, I think it's a good point. Let me just say three things. Number one, I've just remembered that Two Niger now has a channel because someone told me, but then I forgot. So that's a good thing. I think it's good you got a channel because you have a lot to say. I still do sort of get Amaze's point. So throughout the live stream, she's more or less said that we're not serious, and I agree with her. Especially the people in this space, we are not serious. The thing is that when we talk so much, we're not doing as much. When we're talking so much, is to compensate for a lack of what we're doing. If we were doing, we wouldn't be talking, you know.
True.
And so for a lot
I
of the
agree.
people, and I think, and this is something we all participate in, no matter which end of the paradigm you are, even those who innocently watch and those who watch for mess. We just sort of sit on words and we don't really get to use it. There are a few people who come and go out of this space who write books and, they're able to sell the books here, like Diego and stuff like that. But for the majority of people who are like probably a few hundred, just in this space, they're not doing anything whatsoever. And that's the biggest problem, is that we hear so much dysfunction, yet we're not moving to do anything. And we're offended when people say we're not serious, but it's like, come on. Like if you would, let's look at a few of us who make lives. If we're on live for 11 hours and we're fighting for 5 hours, it's just like, really, you know what I'm saying? So it's like we're definitely not serious. But if we don't know that we're not serious, and it's 2022 and we're doing live streams for 10 hours, 11 hours, 6 hours, then that's a problem because it means that we lack self-awareness, you know? So I do agree
Mm,
with Mamaze that no matter what, even with all of these good points that you're saying, with all of these good points that any of the other YouTubers are saying, we're not serious. And that's the problem. We want to be given the accolade of being having good points and being serious, but what good is the accolade if no one ever gets to reap the benefits? Even yourself, myself, and Memeza. So that's all I have
yeah.
to say.
Hmm. That's
Okay.
interesting. Yeah, go
So
ahead.
Mr. Uganda, when listen, you know, when I say we are not serious, it's not only about us on YouTube first. Yeah, it's about us as individual African people, maybe Black people in general. It's not only Africans because every time we have an issue, it doesn't even have to do with it doesn't even have to be a big issue like our condition and all that. Even in our individual family unity, where the people that we in relationship with, right? We as African, we have major issue compared to other people. Like I analyze behavior and I always want to be in people's mind and I observe and I contrast and I think I'm like, why are we always like this? I have noticed that, right? Especially when it comes to like getting together and get something done, right? It's so difficult for African to accomplish anything together with African. Just like let's say there's a group of Africans and there's a group of Africans with other people. That group of African with other people will be more successful than just the group of Africans. When I say
Mm,
African, I'm not talking about just African from the continent. We have all these grandiose ideas, but when it comes to lay them down and brave the challenges, overcome the challenges and the frustration to bring the project to life, we always fail. Why? That's my issue. That's why I'm saying we not serious. That's on little scale, and that also is shown on the bigger scale. Even our government and everybody will have all this nice talk, good everything that people want to hear. Our politicians, even the people, even our teachers, anybody, they will teach you this. In Africa, Mr. Uganda, you did not go to school in Africa. I went to school Africa. So the teacher, he will come to class, he will teach you all these great lessons. But when you step out of the classroom, it's not about that anymore. Even in the when you go back into the community, if something happens and you bring up that lesson that he taught you as a reference point to your discussion, he will blame you. He will tell you that that's school. That's not what we do in real life. So we always have this multiple personality. I don't know if it's in our mind. We behave this way in one setting, and in another setting we behave that way. I don't understand why we have all this conflictual way of doing in life.
I think that I think if you ask me, I think that sometimes people. I think it's not even sometimes. I know that, and I also know that about myself. There are sometimes people know things factually, but it doesn't mean they take that in. They implement that in their everyday actions or in decision making. They don't do that. They just know the stuff factually, but they still do all that thing
So
separately.
why are we like that? I think you said it good. That's exactly one of the things I'm talking about. We don't like facts. We
Mm.
don't want to live a life based on reality. Like we have that alternative way of living, and I think that's the one of the core reason why we behind. To be honest with you, because we don't.
It tells you that subliminal messaging is very, very powerful. The media is very powerful, and conditioning is also very powerful. Because if you have been conditioned and you've gotten subliminal messages all over the place from words and the way people talk to you and everything, and then you get information that tells you the opposite, you can see that even if you know that consciously, but you don't factor that into your decision making because there is this divide going on inside you. A lot of mess has been put in there that is conflicting with the information you have. So you find it hard to make decisions. It's like, of those cases where a woman or a man will find out that his partner is cheating and they just block it out of their mind because they don't want to confront the ugly reality of what is happening. So I think that's part of it, that what is going on.
Do you agree that we have that issue? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
I know we definitely do have that issue. And to be fair, it's not only us, a lot of other groups display the same. Maybe it's just a human thing, and
I
we
don't
are
think
picking
so.
it up because we are in a bad state. We are picking it up
Tell me
now.
when you say
A
other
bad
group,
state.
what group are you talking about? Tell
See,
me.
people know Boris Johnson lies like hell and steals from people and does all kinds of things, but they still prefer have him as a leader. People know Trump says all kinds of vile things, even if they know he passes laws that don't even
No, no, no,
favor
no. No, I don't agree with you. Listen, it depends on the mission that he has. If he's fulfilling the mission correctly, based on where the agenda, where they want to go. Don't I'm not talking about like people personal choice. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm telling you that we have something we want to do. We're planning. Let me get an example for maybe
them.
illustrate what
Okay.
I'm saying. Let's say all this repart in Africa that left, right?
Mm,
Out of all of them that were over here, uh beating the drum about what they're gonna do, this, that. To Nigeria, I don't know if you follow them. The majority of them have fall apart. Like no project is working. It's always at the end about this person did this, or because of that. The latest is it's one of the guy in Gambia. His name is Elvin, whatever. He had like a bed and breakfast, I believe. Now
mm,
it's all like the project is sabotage. They have all this thing that they come in say this happened that happened. I'm like, what? How come you guys cannot get together and get something done? It's always about like somebody's feeling that got hurt, and then the person turn against the other people. So the main goal that we all like committed to
yeah.
get put on the side, and our ego, because of our lack of like I don't know internal peace and self-esteem or something. We always like the little thing through us of the edge, and we go in a war with each other for stuff that you can even like overlook, just to let the bigger picture that you're trying to paint
Mm,
come to life. Like I don't understand why we are like that. I don't understand really. Even
yeah.
here in United States, when I go in like even in church, right? I'm not a
Yeah.
big church person, but I want for my children to learn the Bible. So sometimes I take them to church so that they can study and learn that stuff. Like you
Yeah.
see how they carry the project. Even in the big middle of church, they have conflicts, and whatever they have it conflicts with, if they were that they were using what they teach in church, it would have helped them overcome the little thing that they let break them apart. And I'm looking at everybody like, I'm like, are you guys serious? Didn't you
Mm,
guys see that this thing, this is how you're supposed to do? And why don't you use the thing that your knowledge to really like guide you, be what you reference in life that to allow you to. That's the
mm,
only thing to me, for me, to Naja.
mm,
That's what is making us different from other people. Like I work with white people all the time. Like when there's conflict, they always find a way to resolve it. And they don't always let the ego take over and destroy the project. You understand? They always let
yes.
they will always let the bigger picture be the main thing, and is reminded all the time. If you're gonna be somebody that's gonna be like a handicap for whatever we're trying to, they put you to the side and then move on, and everybody else go the same direction. But with us, it's never like that. Like it's
Mm,
like everybody just go, each person go different direction. It's chaos. Like we are chaotic. We are chaotic. We are chaotic people.
I,
I'm
I,
not
I,
gonna.
I I think you are judging us a bit harshly. The reason why I say that is because the other groups they have that too. I agree that they do come together, but remember they do that because they've had the chance to learn bitter lessons. These are people that even after they conquered Africa, were ruling Africa, they still went to two world wars, raping each other, tearing each other in the millions. So they didn't learn the lesson after the first one. They went to the second one and killed millions again. And then they were like, you know what, enough is enough. Let's just create the EU, NATO, and all the rest and just get along now. So it took them a while to get round to the table and get their common sense working. So maybe this is a human thing. And if you look at it by that standard, you can see that Africans are not that terrible given the fate we have suffered recently. So I think that's it. Your assessment to me may be a bit harsh. Europeans,
We
they
are
don't trust
terrible.
each other too.
We are terrible. Telling you, we are terrible.
The world is about the way the world works is that it's about resources. I don't care about religion. People talk about religion all the time. They talk about how religion, do this. No, people, the real behavior of human beings is they want to dominate the other person. Religion doesn't make them not still
To
want to do
dominate,
that.
to dominate somebody, right? You
Yeah,
have to have
at
certain
least
qualities.
The Middle
Oh,
East and Europe, they
black
tend to
people
do
will
this.
never dominate nobody because
Black people,
yeah, they will never. Even if they wanted, they cannot. To dominate someone, you have
they
to have.
did though. They did. Did you know that the Mali Empire is bigger than anything that has happened in East Africa? The Mali
Listen,
Empire is massive.
when I'm talking about domination, I'm not even talking about physical or all that. I'm talking about mind. Me, what I'm passionate with is the human mind. I want to.
Oh,
That's what I'm trying to. Like I always trying to figure out what's the difference between the way we think and the way other people think. Because I think our downfall is that's where our problem is the
mm,
mind. We lack emotional intelligence. Because to dominate someone, you have to be able to go through even like
yeah.
being to pretend. You understand? If I want to dominate you to Nigeria, come to your house. Do you think I'm just gonna come to your house? Let's say I don't even come with like a weapon. I
Yeah.
have to learn the art of manipulation. That's not something that black people know how to do. Because to manipulate, right, you have to be able to have some level of self-conscious. You have to be you have to be able to sometimes forget your ego, put your ego to the side and be able to go through stuff, pretend that you're not seeing what's happening. But a typical black person has such a low self-esteem that a little thing that reminds him he goes off. I literally think that, like, even when I listen to you guys fighting, Stu Naja, I see you on the panel. Even when it's Brandon, you guys have, like, there's some useless fight that I see you guys participating. One time over there, everybody was against you. You were over there screaming. I'm like, what is the need? Like, Brandon, he has this way that he want to be the king of his channel. Like he will
Yeah.
put out he will put out a topic, but he will overtalk every single person that comes.
You know what? I fear that that's what I do. I might do too. You see, I think you don't notice it when you are running a channel because when you host a channel, you especially me, I have to be careful about it because you overtalk people because now it's your channel and they let you talk. But you forget that you are talking over them too much. Brandon one is like a bully. He doesn't even like,
He's
even
a
if you
bully.
tell him he's over
He
talking,
does.
he
He
doesn't
does.
listen.
But we do
Mm.
know what that tells me. That's a sign of low self-esteem. Because when you're confident, okay, you listen to people even when you don't agree with them. Brandon,
Ah, yeah. I think you're being harsh. Brandon's philosophy is if you have somebody that is challenging you, you destroy them.
no,
it's not about
listen.
it's not about logic. Destroy them. Their moral. Destroy everything.
Okay, but
That,
what's the point of doing that though? If we haven't, that means we're not even serious. Like I'm telling you, normally this panel was supposed to be educational. You agree with me, right? We can learn from each other.
yeah, but
Even
see, see, you have to understand the mentality some people have, though, and maybe the history bears them out. Tell me one movement that has won control of any society that was there debating and winning people over. They destroyed anybody that was in their way. Communism destroyed everybody that was in their way. Capitalism did everything, destroyed everybody that was in their way. So maybe, who knows? See, I am humble enough to know that maybe my way is not the one that actually works, because there is evidence showing that, you know what, if you keep entertaining doubt and allowing people that just don't see to hold your time up, hold the space up, that you could fail in your mission. And this is why I give him a bit of space, because I've been on a panel before where he was telling me, you are having a go at me when we are on the same side. You should attack the other people. And I was telling him, no, 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 no. We have to examine the issues clearly. But by the end of that session, it turns out that he was correct, because me being reasonable and everything didn't win us the argument. We should have gone on a full tilt and gone after these people, because they were wrong. They were wrong. But
Okay.
the person that steered the conversation steered it in such a way that he ended it in such a way that it made them look like they won the argument. And that is sometimes why these other groups that actually change societies don't tolerate people that, challenge their opinion. This is why I give Brandon a bit of a space.
To know
Hmm?
that in this case, neither you, neither Brandon has any power. You understand? I don't know why.
Yeah, we have enough power to win that argument. we may we may
Like
not
that,
have we may
this is
not
what,
have national power.
okay, that's what I'm talking about. Self-esteem. It only fits your self-esteem at that moment. Because it's not
Yes.
serving any purpose. Because when I come to those channels to listen to you guys, I'm listening to learn. I'm not listening to for you to know who win what for what. And that's not even gonna. That has no that whole nothing. What's that gonna do? What you have no power of decision on anything. So I don't see what you guys talking about. It's
I
for
think what it
entertainment.
does is,
Entertainment.
that it shows that if this argument goes full tilt in society too, that this argument will win the day. You see, that's what it does. It gives whoever is hearing it that say, you know what, this is the argument. It's like when you go online and or whatever, all these LGBT people, if they win the argument online, they can come in society and start implementing it because they feel like they are winning the argument. You see, they will have the confidence to win the argument in society too. So when all these people have encounters, exchange ideas, and one side seems to be coming out on top, that side will have more confidence. It's not even about people that are in the conversation, it's people that are listening. Because when they are listening and they're saying, oh my God, these people are clashing, but this side seems to have better points. And they were not tolerating any nonsense. So people will embrace the side that seems to be winning more. Maybe that is why who wins matters. Yeah, I
No,
don't know whether you are following
no,
it.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because on our issue, like when it comes to black whatever community issue, we have to rely on the truth. Okay, we have to rely on facts because winning or pretending we of we pretending to win. No, no, that's just an emotional satisfaction. What I want to know what is truth. What can we do to get to where we try to go? All that nonsense, ego or whatever, is very a waste of time. I see it all the time, even on Dana's meal channel. Sometimes people
Yeah.
just argue over ego. Oh my god!
Mm.
And let alone like Africans people, like when they talk about Liberia, and there's this guy. I forgot what his name is. He
Caligenism.
No, the other Liberian girl, Liberian man. There's a Liberian guy here in the United States. I don't know what his name is. He gets so offended. Like if you guys bring anything, and the thing that they bring up is factual, but he doesn't want to see. He doesn't want the general public to know that Liberia had that type of issue. He gets so offended, and he just turned the panel into like just argument. And I'm like, how is that benefiting anybody? That's why
I,
we're always gonna be behind having that low type of argument. The
I,
platform.
I think so. I think you are missing something. I think something else is happening while all that is happening. The reason why I feel like, okay, while they are having the argument, they are also understanding each other. They are knowing where the lines are. It's better not to have than not to have any argument, any discussions at all. And even on some channel where they fight all the time, you can also see that even when they are fighting, there's bonding going on. They are all getting to know each other, knowing, okay, well, this is this person's boundaries, this is that person's boundaries. I think it helps to have conversations, sometimes even tough ones. And it's just that sometimes when I get frustrated is when it is all about destroying the good arguments. And I think that's is slightly different. Sometimes you see a situation whereby you hear people arguing that, oh, did you go and read that one up to? Oh, did you go and follow the news? It's like, are you now trying to discourage people to read? Are you now trying to discourage people to follow the news? And they talk down anybody that has good arguments sometimes. In my case, that one is regular. They attack me
What
all
is
the
good
time. But I've
argument?
seen
When you say stuff like
mm,
that, I don't even know what you're talking about. What is good argument?
I
Is
think good arguments is somebody's making argument based on fact and they are attacked. You just said just now the Liberian goes on the attack if somebody just says anything about his country, doesn't care whether it's factual or not. And that is not a good. If that person comes on, he says that the people there should to support the side that's actually more accurate, that has the truth on their side, at least as truthful as it comes. But if you say, oh, just because you like the guy that doesn't want to hear the truth, and you destroy the truth, the community is poorer for it, because people will go away thinking that that truth doesn't deserve hearing. And then where does that leave us? We are left with silly information that doesn't get. And you said it yourself, the mind is where the battle is won. And if the mind is full of garbage, good luck with getting anywhere. And that is where I get frustrated when people are presenting false information and they don't argue the point, they start attacking the person.
you guys all
Wh-
do that? Even yourself, you
I,
do that.
okay, tell me who I've attacked. I don't care too much about attacking the person. I criticize people, but I will tell you that,
What?
okay, okay.
Excuse me, Tunaja. You say you can say something. Tunaja.
Yeah, attack people. Mr. Uganda, I remember Mr. Uganda did attack me a few times, but
Mr.
um,
Taylor is very polite. He's not gonna attack you. But
he
I'm
will
talking
attack you
about you
politely.
on that. You over there on Dallas and me upset. I'm like, why is tonight? You were insulting everybody over there one
Was
time.
I? Was
Yeah.
I?
Oh
They
my God.
must
You
have
were so
insulted
upset.
me now. I was insulting back.
I forgot what they say. I
Mm.
forgot what it was about, but you were so upset one time. I was like, get Tunaja off that channel.
You are one of those people that keep telling me, get him out, get him out.
Yes. Tunaja, when you get mad, it's too bad. It's too, I don't know
Come
how you
on, man.
realize.
I know.
Oh, I
I
remember
need to
what it
check
was.
myself now and
Let
again.
me remind you what it was. You remember when Will Smith slapped that the other guy,
Yeah,
and
and
then the
yeah.
argument, I think it was
Mm,
on Brandon, and then you went on Dennis Smith. So
mm.
they were all you were defending the woman.
Will Smith too, yeah.
Oh,
No, you were not
Jaden.
defending
Jaden.
Will Smith. You were Jada. You were defending Jada. You came about that grandiose talk that you do sometimes about. You have,
What is the grandiose talk?
yeah, that's why you have. Yeah, you don't
At
want
least, yeah, I'm happy you see it as grandiose anyway.
to. You are over there talking about how we have to defend our women. Let's not discuss our women like that in public. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, no, no.
Yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree with what Will Smith did. But what I will say, right, just to talk about what you guys were talking about, I know that you said that confidence builds. I guess the confidence is built from the arguments because you can take it into the real world. But I think even in the back of your mind, you know that a lot of it is very futile and a lot of it's just entertainment and it's something we do to pass time. More often than not, it's a chance. It's not a guarantee. And I think more often than
yeah,
not, we're falling into the chances. We're falling into the chance that someone may listen and apply. But we haven't measured the guarantees. Have we actually measured who has left the panel discussions doing something? I don't think one person has actually left the panels changing legislation, mobilizing people to protect their communities. I have not seen one person who was not doing it before. If they were doing it before the panels, that doesn't count because we didn't impact them to change their behavior. I'm talking about people who have listened to us, listened to the panels, who went out there and changed something in the world. That would prove that the confidence translated into change. I cannot mention one person who has done that. And therefore, if that's been the prerogative and the trend for like the past year and a half, that would lend most sensible people to assume that the panels aren't impacting behavior for us to change the world and to change our communities. It's just giving people more talking points. And this is where I agree with Mameza. I don't agree with Mameza entirely, but what I will say is this: it's almost as if the more we learn, the more we're learning just how to talk. We're not really learning how to do anything. We're just learning how to give a talking point. You know, it's not like it's internalizing to the point where we're actually changing. But it's like I'm not fooled by it either. I don't sort of, if someone was to say, "Oh, you guys are just wasting time. This is just entertainment," I would say, "Yeah, this is entertainment to me," because I don't treat it as a job. You know, I'm not a Pan African. So for me, I'm just here to like do whatever I want to do. I talk about what I want to talk about. But if you're a Pan African, it's like, you know, it's necessary for you to change the world. So yeah, I would think about it.
I think it has impacted some people. I know for sure it has affected my behavior and my decision making to an extent. And like someone like Brandon now, I don't think he was doing some of the stuff he was doing in Kenya before he started encountering like search for Huru and all the rest of it. And now he's one of those people that are probably spearheading the fight against the so-called American Aboriginals. Um, there are quite a lot of people, Duke Jackson. There are quite a lot of people on the continent doing different things, and not to mention some of the work Wodemaya has done. It has impacted lives. Thousands of people have traveled to that continent just because of Wodemaya alone. They moved, not just visited, moved. And so the effect is there. It's not necessarily accurate to say that it doesn't have an effect in the real world.
Oh no, no, and wait, let me just cut in there because I agree with you. But those aren't the people I was referring to. I'm talking about people who listened in on the panels because what you and Mameza were talking about was arguments, and then you said that confidence would come out of the arguments, and I guess something good will come out of it. But in me measuring what exact good is coming out of it, I can't seem to find one because Brandon was already doing stuff um, before he was doing panels, so he would be disqualified for the measure. Wodi Maya, he doesn't even come to panel, so he's also exempt. Even Dynasty Mir, he was doing stuff years before, and we were even, at least before I was even on this sector of YouTube, so he's disqualified. I'm talking about people who listen to the shows. What are they actually doing that's impacting the change that we're talking about? And like, we're not able to mention one person who's not a content creator that wasn't already doing anything.
I think you are looking at it from a specific timeline. I think there was a time I was there when Brandon started his channel. That's
Hmm.
he probably started knowing more about these things with Search for Uhuru. And when Brandon used to have 5 viewers, now I'm just watching him. He's got 330 viewers at the same time watching him. So he started from scratch, and before you know it, he started this building organization that he started and started building in Africa too. So there are people, and many of them don't even come out openly to say it. It's true. It's not a lot. It may not be a lot that have just listened to the panels, but you have to understand, Search for Huru may be responsible for affecting Wodemaya, not the other way around. You see what I mean? So Wodemaya was in China doing his own thing, but Search for Huru changed. That's Wodemaya changed direction. I don't think it's just only money that changed Wodemaya's direction. He must have watched some other person do the work that they are doing and changed his own approach too. So we don't know the full effect. We don't even know whether it's affecting. I'm sure it's affecting government officials because we know full well that some of all these people, when they go to countries, they are approached by government officials and said, you know what, this is what you've done because of what you've done. Thank you, because they are listening to them. They are watching them on the news. That's on YouTube. I mean, what they are saying. So the other day, Dinas was with the president of Sierra Leone, swearing in a lot of people into becoming citizens of Sierra Leone. Okay, fine. Dinah started it first, but I'm not sure, was he doing it first before he got online? Because I found Dinah's online first before he started really going to Africa big time. Before he was going for holidays at first. Then he went back. Yeah, when he went there for holidays, then he went back to America and he started. One of the first times I saw Daniels was I went to this college, like secondary school or primary school, and he was telling the children about Africa. He was showing them, that was for me. I felt that was such an original thing to do because he went to the continent himself. He saw what he saw. Nobody needed to tell him. He went back to tell the children in his country and let them know this is what I've seen. And I think that is how Diana's really started. And it became bigger and bigger and bigger. He didn't like listen to any panel. But I feel like it's affecting people. I feel like it's affecting people more than we know. Look at this guy, Happy Companion. He was a panelist. He was a panelist and he is now in Africa, like literally living in Africa. There is this lady that used to be on Bijunoa's channel. She is living in Gambia now.
Who?
You know, what's her name?
The new.
Dennis, yes. Yeah. She's living in Gambia now. So there are people that these things have actually affected their lives, have completely
Yeah,
transformed their world.
it does. We just don't have the how am I gonna say, like the power to make laws and decision and all that, but it's changing the way people view themselves. In myself, like I have changed a lot. Like I'm grateful. That's one of the things that I'm very grateful for. Have left my country. Just on coming to America and being around African American people have changed me a lot. When I was in Africa, I would never. I didn't even think about being black or whatever, all that thing that they talk about. I never knew anything about that. That's what pushed me to go learn even more about myself. Because that's what,
Yeah.
when I'm
Look
telling you
at
about
this.
education
Yeah.
in
I
Africa.
wanted to read this statement there. Barry A. I don't know who is Barry A. Is that you gotta said you said teach your child or people not to steal, and he said put a device in the car to find the car after it's stolen. Of course. Put a device in there to find it after it's stolen. That's the point. Why bother teaching them not to steal? That works. You can't trust now. You can see you can tell people not to do something, but when you are not looking, they want to go and do it. We all know what we did when we were younger. We don't listen. Human beings are not designed to listen. They are designed to be controlled in such a way that deterred from doing the wrong things. That's why religion is there, so that God is watching you. If you try to do something wrong, God will judge you. You know. So.
Tunaja,
mm,
Mr. Uganda. I'm gonna give you both of you a homework to do, right? Go make a research about what set black people apart of the other race in the world.
okay.
Please do that, make that research, and you guys gonna understand the thing that I talk about. Because I seem to be like just me, like understanding myself, and nobody else understand me. We have organically wrong thing with in our
Yeah.
you guys can laugh or you laugh, but no, for real. Like I even make the research. Or that's what prompted my life of today because I was so upset. I saw somebody that even came close to what I have been thinking, I've been feeling. Like he was in French. I will have shown you my the thing. I went on Google and like there's something seriously wrong with us. Like the only time, even here in the United States, I see all the time. The only time that black people unite to do something like is when they unite against somebody else. You know, if Tunaja and me and Mr. Uganda, we can unite to hate someone else. We will team up. We will accomplish it very well. But if we unite to do something for us, we will never achieve anything. I don't know why. If we have a like, I don't know, it looks like the thing that we went through kind of like damage our DNA in a way that we become rivals with each other without even knowing. Every time I look at you, I feel like I have.
Hmm.
I don't know why.
I think you are mistaken. I see. I think black people actually have a lot of redeeming features better than other people. We have quite a lot of redeeming features, I have to say, and maybe that's why we are still around. Um, I feel like you are looking at it at our low point now,
No, go do
and
the research, and we're gonna
when
talk. Trust me.
when a
That's
man is not doing so well, people always
that's
think,
something very serious because in individual success, we have individual success, even in the United States, even in UK, even in Canada. I see
mm,
awesome, smart, intelligent, like the people that came up with revolutionary stuff, but
mm,
it doesn't benefit us. Yeah, it cannot even benefit us because we don't have the power to control the thing that they have invented and they discovered.
mm,
Because we just don't. And you ask yourself, why? Why are we like that? Why are we always so vulnerable? Even the greatest of our mind cannot do something that's going to save our life. Really. And Africa, like you see us, like the continent when it comes to like black people and the black race, I believe that the change is gonna have to come from there. To Naja, you have a different opinion because you always claim that African Americans are the people that has to come and bring change to Africa. And with time, initially I was completely opposed to the idea, but with time, I think I understand what you're saying. And with time, I even start a little bit leaning towards your viewpoint. You know,
mm,
because I don't think that us in Africa, given that we are not even educated properly, we don't even know what's going on in the world. We don't even understand the world. We are not competitive people. You understand?
yeah,
We cannot even compete with the world. The people
yeah,
that have the knowledge, really, that even understand the game are
yeah,
them. Are them for real. They know that even if it's bad, we know where we stand.
mm,
Because us in Africa, our mentality is what? We need, we need, we need help, we need help, we need help. Sometimes you like if you have your household and then somebody always give you food. One day that person like maybe give you a condition of killing maybe all your children for your next plate. You should be able to say no, I'd rather die with my children. I'd
yeah,
rather stay over here and starve and find a different way, an alternative. I don't know how long it's gonna take us. I don't know if we're gonna succeed, but we're willing to go through it. Even Jesus, for Christian, they say that he went through 40 days in the desert. But Africans
mm,
are not like that. We're not ready to really like sacrifice that are hard, and we don't
yeah,
even understand the game, especially the mind game that is played in this world. We don't understand, and I think African American they get that 100%. They
yeah,
know exactly where it is and how to. That's why they are respected. They're not looked at like us. It's only when they open their mouth to speak about the issue, the internal community issue, that you guys are even exposed to it. But if they were not talking about it on the internet, you will not know. They are respected because they are fighters. They know how to fight. They don't
mm,
play. They don't play. Even at work, the way they are treated is not the way we are treated. You understand? That's
mm,
real talk. Some people gonna come here online pretend, but we know even when we're at work where how to like, yeah, we know there's we can take so much, but them they don't think that they should be taking certain
mm.
stuff.
I just think that it's going to take all of us,
Yeah, it
and
will.
it can't possibly just take a few. It has to take all the members of the family to really pull ourselves out
You
of
say
this.
family, that's where the illusion comes again.
See, when I say that, I'm not saying all. I'm saying from all parts of the family.
But we
Like
have
even if it's 1% from all the parts of Africa and the diaspora, it's going to be formidable. 1% is a lot of people going to 50,000 to 100,000 or more. That's a lot of people, and marching in lockstep, doing these things, you're going to see a transformation. It's just that they were not organized in any way yet.
What
We're just doing it
our
scattered.
inability, you touch the wall. That's one of the wall, the core wall. That wall is powerful. Organization. That's not something that black people are capable of. That's what we lack the most. And that is due to what I was talking about. We are mentally damaged because the moment that you want to organize people, oh my lord, one is gonna be, oh, you disrespected me. He's out of line.
Mm,
He's gonna
that's true.
to the line.
It's a big problem. I tell you, the person that is is capable of organizing black people, man, that guy, after he does it, he will die because
But they cannot
he will
organize.
expend all his energy just trying to get them organized. I think whoever does that should just prepare that at the end you will be dead. You will not have enough energy left to survive
I
that
don't
kind
think
of
we have the
task.
capability. We are very disorganized people. Even our party looks disorganized when I look at them. Like everything we do is disorganized. Because even like it's so easy, even Nigeria to turn things around. To Nigeria, it doesn't take even that much because we, like I tell you, always speak about grandiose stuff. It takes
Mm.
little steps. I'm telling you, it takes very little steps. Like I
Isn't
was,
that why? Isn't that why I was telling you? You should support the idea of making government accounts public. That's little step.
that's
Just
not the
tell
first step.
people to
The
tell them to
basic
show you
step.
the books. Show me the book.
That's
Show
a
me
big
the
step.
book. Show me the account. You know that could be a campaign slogan. Show me
So the
the
moment I'm
account.
gonna say, "Show me the account," it's gonna create war, right? Then you
Why? Why would it create war? Because
listen.
you want to see the account
Africa,
of where your money is going to.
let me tell you, in Africa, right? There's a core evil, like lack of. You laughing? I haven't even my
They don't want to release the accounts.
listen. I'm just like over here. Like I don't sugarcoat anything. I always tell you, my English is limited. I just use the word that I know. That I feel I know exactly
Mm,
that it represent what I'm trying to express. So in Africa, there's something called accountability that they have no notion of. The
yeah.
moment that you bring that up, it's just like disrespect. You understand? It's like
Hmm.
wow, they're gonna. It's like the bomb they're gonna put on you. That's not something.
Let them bring their bomb. At least you know you are going in the right direction. See,
To
better
Nigeria,
to go that
why
direction than not to go.
don't you go back to Nigeria and start that?
I see. If I was can be in Nigeria yesterday, I would have been in Nigeria yesterday. But I talk to Nigerians almost every day. It's only today I've not spoken to them now because there is campaign going on in Nigeria. So I'm putting it. I've told you I've questioned a presidential candidate in Nigeria right now. He lost the nomination, but I questioned him about it. I told him, would you support a policy to make government accounts public? He dodged the question because I asked him two questions, one about security and one about that. And he tried to say that, oh, we need more soldiers, but he never specified the amount of soldiers he thinks Nigeria needs because all they are thinking about is maybe 5,000 a year, 10,000 a year, when we are talking about the scale of 100,000 at least a year extra soldiers. So that's why I told him you are lying to the people because you're not trying to change the paradigm. You are trying to keep us in the same way where we will just be running our countries as a caretaker government for the colonial powers, and that is not good. Our countries are strong enough not to fail and weak enough never to progress. What kind of existence is that? It's a
So, but
terrible.
you're doing all that from the shelter.
Yeah, yeah. Because they come online sometimes and they go to Nigerian channels and Nigerian channels interview them and suddenly they bring people on. And I went on this one. I could have questioned Showore too. I just chose not to go there that day. But this guy just thought, okay, I have to go. And because I missed the Showore one because I just didn't want to go on. But I went on this one and I questioned him. And I told him, you're lying to the people. Stop lying to the people. You
But
know?
what I'm saying is that you're asking people in Nigeria on the
Yes.
to do that to the politicians that are there. Um,
And he is a politician that I was talking to.
you're talking about to do that to who?
I'm telling the politician that is running for to be president of Nigeria that whether he will support this policy. That's what I did just 2 weeks ago. And he was trying to, which he didn't even answer that question. He dodged it completely. But he went for the security one and thought, yeah, I support recruiting more people, but technology is very important. When they say technology is very important, then I told him the US has 10 times more soldiers than Nigeria, and they have the most advanced technologies. What do you mean technology is very
Yeah, I
important?
don't think you understood my question. I'm telling you that you are questioning that person, that politician you're talking about. You're questioning him because you are doing it for the shelter home of UK. But you
Yes.
asking people in Nigeria to go start questioning their politician that they're in Nigeria with. You know what they're gonna do to those people now, right?
Yeah, I understand what you mean, but I guess is it because I'm not there that I shouldn't say it? But it is the right thing to do because anything else is just going to lead to the
But
same outcome.
you're gonna see. You have to suggest stuff that's gonna be feasible. That's
But
gonna
it
be
is feasible. No, okay, tell me why it's not feasible again. Because they will
because
refuse. Is
the
that it?
threat. The only thing they do it in those African countries is to threat to threat you. They're gonna kill. They're gonna start telling you how you're gonna lose your job. Your family is gonna do this and that. That's not the environment for stuff like that. They don't have that kind of culture. We have a culture of abuse, like I always say.
See,
We
but see, oh no, no, I don't believe that. I really don't believe that. Nigerians hate corruption just as much as anyone else. That
no,
said, they too will want their relative to be corrupt in office, even if they hate corruption. That's the paradox of the Nigerian behavior. I think maybe that's the same for many African countries. They hate corruption, but if their family member becomes a politician
they
and
hate
gets into
only when it
office,
doesn't benefit them. They don't.
exactly, they hate
That's
it when it doesn't. That's a good way to put it. When it doesn't benefit them, they hate it.
what I told you. We have an abuse culture. That's what it is.
But it still doesn't mean the majority of the people will still not support the idea of seeing the accounts because they will understand if you let them know they will understand the impact that will have if they understand that this will reduce corruption and increase trust in government. This lack of trust in our government is one of the biggest problems Africa has
Oh my
because
God.
if no, come on, if you don't trust your leader, how are you ever going to build anything? And the only way you can trust your leader truly that is quantifiable is to be able to monitor the
It's a
accounts.
grandiose
Show
idea.
me the money.
That thing is not
Show me
that's
the
not gonna happen.
money.
No, Nadia,
Stop.
that's grandiose far
Show me
away
the
idea.
money. Everybody knows what that means now. Show me the money. Stop hiding the money and putting it inside your
No,
private accounts and trust account, trust funds, and all that nonsense. They need to reveal where they are putting our money. I think African countries, all of them should be demanding the same thing. Because why should you run a country and you don't know what your governments are doing with your money? It's really weird that we even
I
allow that to happen in
understand
the first
that.
place.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that. It's not like I disagree with it, but I'm saying that even beside that, there are things that are more important. You understand? More important that if we can implement, it will build the future generation. When it comes to even like when it even comes to like demanding uh uh the uh the demanding that the official uh government officials be transparent with the way they manage money. When it comes to that, the people have to even understand like they have to integrate that in their mind and understand how valuable that is. Some people don't even care about knowing that. What they want to know is what they want to see is how the government is working hard to make their daily life better, you know, by providing basic needs so that they can do their part. I'm sure that if the African government were successful at providing like the basic thing that people need, like electricity, roads, hospital, school, water to people, now we can say that okay, the people have to do their part. But if you don't even have that, why am I even gonna go be asking the government to show me the money? They
Oh
can show
no,
you the
no.
money and still not do anything for you.
I agree with what you are saying there. You have to change the people. See, you start from what you know works. Like if you go to Cameroon now, you say everybody has to turn to Muslim. Who will believe that? Nobody will agree to that. The reason why, because you can't change their mind like that, because they have a belief. So if you get the people to believe that if they reveal where the accounts, the money is going, that the politicians cannot steal their money anymore, and they will be able to pay into the system, and the system will function better. Now, once they believe that, the politicians are prisoners to them, because the politicians will find it hard to convince them otherwise. Because how no, tell me what the politicians' argument is going to be. If we show you,
The
if
politicians
we
don't
reveal the
care about
money, the
Africa.
money is going to run away. Pardon?
In Africa, politicians that don't care about the people
No, they do actually. Not, I can tell you that in Nigeria they do.
have no power over.
Nigerian leaders are afraid of the people like crazy. Hmm. You
Okay,
don't understand, man.
what kind of power do the people have over them? Tell
Okay,
me.
let me give you an example. Nigerian government wanted to remove the tax, this thing, what they call it, fuel subsidies to the Nigerian this thing for fuel, so that Nigeria doesn't have to pay subsidy for fuel anymore. The people just threatened to strike or protest. The government retreated quickly. In the east, in the west of Nigeria, the people there said, "Oh, against the constitution, they are going to set up their own security establishment to monitor insecurity because they are suffering attacks." The government said, "No, you're not allowed to do that. That's against the constitution." They went ahead and did it. The government was like, "Bye, I'm not going to do anything." The government took money and sent to local governments for to fund the local government. The governors took the money and just paid off the local government officials and kept most of the money from reaching the local government. This is something that is in the constitution. The government went to court, and the court said the governors should do what the government asked them to do. The governors still refused to do it till today. Nothing happened to them. So the Nigerian government is not as powerful as people think, and Buhari cannot wait to leave. One man has not run Nigeria for 10 years. One man has never been able to do that. So it tells you that Nigeria, the people have power if they harness it. I believe if you convince Nigerians that you have to reveal where our money is, so I can monitor it in real time. Not you spend the money today, tomorrow we'll find out how much was spent. No, as you are spending it, we want to see alerts. So you have the right to subscribe to any account you want to monitor, so that we can actually know where our money is going. And I believe that is an easy way, technologically based way to heal the trust deficit in our nations. Is so bad. If you talk to Nigerians, I've spoken to them, and one of the first things they always say is that if we give them money, they're going to run away with it. If we give them money, they're going to be corrupt with it. All these things, it means that nobody wants to make the first move. And they will keep refusing to make the first move forever, while we are busy waiting for a savior that the people actually trust. I believe that, but the
I
people
don't
can
even know
take the
what to
power.
tell you. The fact that you're in UK, you are
Oh
very
my,
detached from the everyday reality of the
come
Nigerian
on, it's
people.
not fair. I talk to them
The
all the
people
time.
have so much power. Why don't Nigeria? That you guys even talk about Nigeria sometimes, like people that don't know Nigeria think that Nigeria is this big country. Nigeria to me, like when I look at a country in Africa, I even like prefer. I will even give a pass to Cameroon um, than Nigeria because Nigeria is a country that was supposed to be like the United States in of America, but that country, like I don't even know how you guys survive over there. Basically, like water, like electricity. Are you kidding me? If these people had so much power over the government, why don't you guys have stable electricity?
The
Like in
problem
Port
is that,
Harcourt,
see, the
spent
government
2 weeks
has
over
been made
there.
so weak. The government is weak, and the people are weak together. See, the people are poor and weak. So, but I believe that if you change your mind to a point where they feel like, okay, this is one thing we think we can use to bring both sides together, is by saying, okay, this is we want to see where all the money is going to, where we are spending the money. Currently, I was working with somebody that started doing his master's degree in January, and within that, before February, they started a university strike. Till today, they are still not back on. So that strike is based on, oh, the government refused to release some money to the universities. The universities believe that the government have the money. The government is saying they don't have the money. But if we're following the money, that problem doesn't exist. There is no illusion of oh, this one is lying, or no, we will know. Everybody will know that lack of trust that people have for the system. People blame the government. They don't know whether the government is telling the truth. People don't hold the university lecturers accountable. But in the end, who is suffering? Our people again. To solve this problem, I've seen it. Even I'm from the river area. We are closer to Cross River. I'm from the south of the Nigeria, where the oil is from, and they give a lot of money, about 30% of the
Port
income
Harcourt
from.
is always.
Yeah, yeah, those areas. Yeah, they give money to the south, about 13% or so of the oil revenue, or maybe less of the oil revenue to that region to develop the area. There are projects they are supposed to be doing. Most of that money is embezzled. But if you have a way of tracking the accounts, there is no way that money is going to disappear. You will know exactly where it's going, what project is meant to go for, and who they are giving the money. And the moment the money goes in the wrong sideways, people will be like, what was that? Where did that money? Police will report, and fraud agency will report. Each and everybody will see it. So it will discourage people that want to steal money from going into that kind of office. They'll go and find another profession, maybe drug dealing, whatever they want to go and do, let them go and do. But at least the state will be able to function better. See, I believe at the heart of it, this is where we have to start from. It's hard. It seems hard, to tell people to just start opening the accounts up and books up. But that is how you get to the bottom of things. It's a simple idea, but I will see. I'm just testing it out and see how people receive it. All the people I've spoken to, Nigerians I've spoken to, it's funny when I'm on a chat. This thing, if I'm on a chat, a lot of people say, "Get out of here! You're talking rubbish. Who is going to do it?" This, but when I'm on a panel, they
Yeah,
listen to it more.
that's what they tell me too. Even when I bring my suggestion, like among my people, that's why I come over here and talk to you guys from the English speaking side of when you
Mm,
go when I go do this talk in the French speaking side of the continent, they don't even want, they don't want to hear it. They're not
mm,
they think the idea are so cut dry already. They think that Africa is that the best thing for Africa is to get like start begging for help and
mm,
find who is gonna show us love. Like, oh, that like now in my country, what they say. I mean, what they're all about is Russia. They're
Russia.
all about Russia. Russia is better than France.
Mm. Yeah, they want to align. Sorry about that. They, I think that okay, so there most of the people in those French speaking countries I interact with, you think they prefer to work with Russia than France?
It's the fact that they always think that we have to have like someone we're working with.
Mm.
It's not
Sorry,
even
I'm
a
sorry about
problem.
that. We probably need to end this stream before we make your sickness before we make your cold even worse. So yeah,
Um,
I get I even that point. Oh my God, you should have raised this point a lot earlier. That they feel like we always have to be working with someone. That is something I really really dislike about our people sometimes, and our leaders mostly anyway. You know how the Mali got rid of the French and just brought the Russians in. So like, do you need the Russians? You have 20 million people in your country. If they have to teach you how to use weapons and all the rest, why can't they just do it from Zoom? Why do you have to bring so many Russian people into your country? You know, there are video tutorials out there. You tell them to make some of the best video tutorials that's ever been made in the world. They send it to you over the internet or whatever. Why do they have to bring all their kids and war machines into the country? See, I don't subscribe to any of that. But like I said, we have to, you said it yourself, we have to start incrementally, bit by bit. You gave us a homework. I'll give you a homework to do too.
give me your homework and we'll
The
meet
homework
again.
is share this idea of making government accounts public to your fellow French speaking this in Africans.
I can answer
I
you
hear
for
what you
them.
say.
That, You know, yeah, you, like I talk about you guys because you even understand that we have a problem we have to change in the French part of the continent.
Mhm.
That is not even a pro. Like they don't even want to hear that. They have no problem.
You mean they trust their government?
No, they don't trust the government, but they think that the solution is to run to France, America, and all that, like we've been doing. They don't think that anything can change. So they have like very set idea on that nothing will ever change. That's how it's gonna be. And they even believe the majority of us believe that we should be
Oh
recognized.
my God, recolonized.
Yep. They even like advocate for it. Like my uncle tells me that
Hmm.
colonization ended too early. Like like oh my god, one time we were having dinner, right? I went home and we were having dinner. We end up even leave the dinner table without eating because we were arguing. He was like, we should be recolonized because the colonization ended so early, and the Africans did not learn anything from the master. They should have learned all the skills before
Kai.
the country were hang
Calling
over
them
to them.
masters.
That
Ay,
that
ay, ay. Calling
I,
them masters is bad enough, not to mention
there's
the rest.
there's a girl over here from my country. She's France. She's advocating for it. Like she goes on panel, big panel in France, and some of the political party in France has hired her. So she participated in debate on to convince people that Cameroon should be recognized, and Africa, the entire Africa should be recognized. And she will, her argument will be based on um, how the lack of advancement since the colonization. That at least when the European were there, things were getting done, and
Mm,
now it's worse. Tribalism has destroyed the whole population, and nothing is based on merits. Um,
yeah.
yeah, everything's all about who you know, and therefore, there's a lot of struggle. I mean, I understand how what her argument, but the solution is not that, because by being recognized, that's gonna set us back like century, and it's not
See,
like
when a man
someone.
says that to you, what you need to tell them is that they should be ashamed of themselves. That a 5 foot Asian man can defend their women, their children, and their community, and he is there talking about being recolonized by another woman's husband. How disgraceful. You need to remind them that they are men. Their job is to
No, it's not
protect their
only.
own.
Hold on to Nadia. You know Afridemos.
Yeah.
Do you hear how Afridemos talk? He's not far from that. You understand? He's not
True.
far from that. The way he talks,
Mm.
he doesn't believe
Ah,
that.
the way to wake men up is to shame them to realizing that men
Africa,
that they would consider weaker are doing better than them. That's how you shame men to
Africa
change that way of
made
thinking.
a show about how colonization helped Africa. You understand? He did that. He did that. He even O'Shea Duke Jackson invited him on his panel to talk about that. Like it was
Mm,
so cringy and embarrassing. But
yeah.
his whole argument was based on the same argument that that girl I'm telling you that is from Cameroon. She's in Paris. She goes around and talk about how France should take over Cameroon again. At least it's gonna provide job. They're gonna be fair. They're
Mm.
not gonna be biased, because as long as Africans gonna um, lead Africa, they're gonna always, and that's something that is like it's true whatever they're saying. But the solution is not to be recolonized. The solution is to find ways of
Of circumventing all the efforts and solving problems. Just solve the problem that you're facing. Don't see our
but
men
now
sometimes see they don't understand their role. That's the problem. Our men have not waking up to their role. That man that is saying that is a man that is still asleep. He thinks European men are men while he's a boy, waiting to be taken care of. He doesn't understand his role, and yet he has a wife, children, and everything. He shouldn't even deserve that if he talks like that. Because a man's primal duty is to protect his women, his next generation, and his territory. To be
Yeah, but
asking another woman, someone to come and do that for you,
okay, some
that is
people
the
understand
worst
that,
thing
but
any man can say.
yeah, some people understand that too, Naja, just like you. But they have no idea how to do that to get that done. They live in a world where they are they live in the ocean where there are big fish and they are the smallest fish. Now you have to play the game, the mind, the game of mind, which is something that Africans lack. You understand?
Uh-huh.
An African person doesn't think about tomorrow. It's not people that think for long term
Do
thinkers.
they
They're not
pay
like
in? Okay, in your country, you say you're from Cameroon. Do they have 24 hours power supply, 24/7?
Cameroon is becoming like Nigeria. I remember in 2000, my first time in Nigeria was in 2004. Like
Yeah,
in Cameroon, right? When they talked about Nigeria, they used to say how Nigeria was so progressive. It was better than my first time I went over there. I was so impressed by your airport, uh, so much. But when I got into the country, I went to Port Harcourt. I was there for 2 weeks, and we had no light. One day,
yeah.
like out of nowhere, everybody started shouting in the neighborhood, "Oh, NEPA, NEPA, NEPA!" I'm like, "What the hell does that mean?" It's got NEPA is here. That was the light coming. And it did not even last 30 minutes, and it was gone. Everything run on generator. I was there, and my sister-in-law told me that since she was born, Nigeria was like that. I'm like, what? At least at that time in Cameroon, we did not have power out
Mm,
outage like now, but it's becoming like Nigeria more and more.
mm. Sorry about that. Yeah, the other day too, even Liberia, I think, the plane was coming to land and they took power. There was no power at the airport. The aircraft had to turn around and go somewhere else. This is a systemic problem that Africans need to deal with. And okay, if there is the power outages begin to show up in Cameroon too, I think that the francophone countries too, they still have the same trust issues with their leaders, and I think they will benefit from being able to force the government to reveal their accounts. And I don't know, francophone countries tend to come across as being more passive than the
They
anglophone
are,
countries.
they are
And
because they don't understand the mind game being played on them by friends. You know, our main oppressor is friends, but they're small. You know, like I'm telling you, African people have a serious, deep rooted emotional issue, lack of emotional intelligence. Like friends will present things in a way that will make you think that it benefits us, right? In a way that we will become even their soldier. Like we will be defending them. Like you cannot say anything bad about friends. Um,
yeah,
People
you
gonna
can.
come.
Uh-huh.
Exactly. They're gonna come against you. Even on this, I cannot sit over here and start talking. They're gonna come and tell me, "Oh, you always put the blame on France. What are you guys doing too? And you're all the corruption in the country." Blah, 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 blah. I'm not saying that's not true, but
I think two things. That's why I prioritize two key things: security and transparency. That's my top priority. If you tell them, do you know that your country is not well secured? You give them simple examples, how they run their own lives. Why is your country like that? You should be asking them these simple questions. And they will have asked people this question before, and at first they were kicking against me, and they come back to me and said, you know what, you are correct. All these things you have been saying. When I checked the numbers, I was shocked myself. So sometimes you don't worry about what they think now. You'll be surprised months later they will come back to you and start telling you, oh my god, that stuff you revealed to me is actually true. So you tell them, look at our countries. They are not defended like other countries. That is why you are seeing all these problems and our people are stressed. Secondly, you tell them you don't trust the government, then ask them to make the accounts public so that everybody is on the same page.
hey, hey, too Naja.
That's
Too,
your own assignment. You
uh,
tell them to, since you don't trust the
I don't even
government,
need to tell them
tell
anything
them to
because
make the account public.
listen, I don't need to tell them anything because listen, the whole African country, the whole Africa, at least sub-Saharan Africa, it's a mess. Like it's a failed state, all of them. Because when I want to say that France is holding us back, France is worse than. But I look at Nigeria that's supposed to be ahead, but they're not where they're supposed to be. So I'm like, well, even if you have everything that I'm complaining about in Cameroon, you will still be like Nigeria or Ghana. Why is Ghana not ahead? People think Ghana is this big country that is developing and whatever. Like the essential things are not done. And when the essential, the thing that makes people life, daily life better is not done, it's not gonna go anywhere. They're just gentrifying Accra. They're coming to
Mm,
Accra and building all this big stuff that the people from
mm,
Accra cannot even have access to. When I was in Cameroon, there were things like that in Cameroon. It's not like you cannot find those things over there, but it is not available for us. We cannot
mm.
even have access to it. It still remain like something very far.
It is that way because our people are not paying into the system. Our people don't pay tax. They don't trust the government. The government, the little money they have, they run away with it and cheat and buy, houses in Europe and put the money in Western accounts. All these things to solve them, you have to start from the simple policies. If you tell them make the accounts public, then it will be hard to steal the money. It will be a lot harder to steal the money. This is why I keep saying these things. We have the solutions, but we are not using them
Okay,
because
what?
we just want to approach things the old way.
Okay, I think we're gonna end here. We have the solution, but we're still not using them. We're still not using them, right? Which
Yeah,
means what? We're not serious, right? And that's why.
yeah, and that
Exactly.
includes you because you are saying you're not going to do
No,
it. That
listen,
includes you.
even
I'm
them.
telling you, I'm solution oriented.
No, no, no. I'm so serious and I'm so solution oriented. That's how I live my life, my daily life. I'm all solution oriented. I don't like whining. I don't like complaining. That's me. I'm okay. This is not working. What can we do? Even if it's a temporary solution, what can we do until we get to what we want? That's how I am. I don't have time for like no, no, no. But that's what we are. We and
Mm.
oh my god, we are even like culturally so wrong. There's so many stuff about our culture that I want to be talking about here on YouTube, but I don't even know if the people gonna like.
You can talk because if you are feeling it, believe
But you
me,
guys are
other
not
people are feeling
honest.
it.
To Nigeria, you guys are not honest. You rationalize everything. You understand?
How do
I'm
you mean
gonna
I'm not honest? I'm
have
actually as honest. See, I am honest as I know how to be. If I cannot, yeah,
emotionally honest. Like
maybe not.
we have an emotional issue. Like when in our the way we raise our children, we don't address the emotional intelligence. That's something that I came to learn later in life. Like we
Mm,
don't know how to manage our emotion. In Africa, they think that you have to express everything. We don't know um how to be emotionally strong. I think that if Africans from the continent can acquire that, and now the diaspora Africans come, we can walk greatness to greatness. I'm telling you, because every
mm,
little thing upset us, and when we upset, we don't even care again about what is facts and what is not. It's always about feelings, 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 feelings for Africans. I
yeah.
saw Ghanaian cry like babies online when somebody says something bad about Ghana. When somebody makes videos about Ghana. How on the comment section is all, oh, don't say this about Ghana. Oh, Ghana was this. Oh, you don't understand Africa. Oh, you don't understand the history of Africa. Go back to America. They're
Mm,
talking about stuff oh my God. Even like there's this guy, this African American online. I like him too. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. He is so gentle and diplomatic in the way that he does his um, videos. He makes his videos. He talks about African country. He is Jay. You know Jay. Uh,
yeah, no.
Maximum impact with Jay. Jay Cameron or something like that.
Oh, I may know him. I can't remember. No.
Yeah, his name is Jay.
Mm,
Like he makes a video about the African colonized mind.
how it's damaging Africa, and he talks about the real implication, what he sees on the daily basis, how it's killing Ghana and the people of Ghana. But you will see people come on this comment section just insulting him. Just because he says something that they're doing, and that's the really progressive, some type of some behavior, some thinking, and coupled with ignorance, coupled with superstition and religion. That's the reset a recipe for disaster, and that's what's happening in Africa right now. We
mm,
are not being educated properly. We don't understand the world, because your typical African is not somebody that's interested in the that even listen to the world news or travel. We are restricted. We cannot travel the way we want to. We cannot even
yeah,
some people don't even have radio. Even if they have radio, they're thinking about what they're gonna eat. The next meal is gonna be, how they're gonna pay their school fees, stuff like that. So those
mm,
things keep us from really like sit down and think and even um view ourselves, think about ourselves in relation to other to the rest of the world. The typical African is not thinking like that. We're thinking like that because we are out of Africa and we understand certain things that they when you were there, you were just busy on your daily how to make your daily living. So
mm,
when he comes in, when this African American comes in, right, and give you a perspective of yourself that you never talk about you from a perspective that you never even thought about. For a smart person, right, you have to take what they're saying and analyze without
mm,
feelings and see what is fact and what is not. Instead of jump on him and start insulting him, when whatever he's saying is whatever everybody is saying and thinking about you, but they're not saying that to you in your face. That's what I appreciate about the fact that African Americans going to Africa, because they come there with a different mindset than other people. Other people don't care if Africa is doing bad on. They want Africa to be vulnerable so that they can always have the upper hand on you guys,
yeah,
on us. When they come in our community, they can get our girls for cheap.
yeah.
Even the prostitute in Africa,
It's cheaper.
yes, exactly. They can get anything they want to cheaper, and they play on you on our ignorance and all that. So when this African American comes, we they are descendant of us. So some part of them will want us. I mean, when they look at us, we remind them who they are, and they will have love for us to be ahead sometime. So they start saying stuff and they start telling you, giving you tough love. What do? We cry. We cry. Rather put our head in the sand and pretend that no, it's not what they're saying. When everybody else saying the same thing and not telling you. So yeah,
Mm. It will be all right.
we not
And
sleep.
yeah, let's leave it here. I've given you assignment, and the next time I encounter you, I would like to hear what they said. It will be interesting to hear
Okay.
what they said.
All
And
right.
yeah, thanks for having me, and I hope
Yeah, thank
you
you.
get better from the cold.
Yes, yes. See
All
you.
right, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you to Mr. Uganda. Thank you, Mr. Uganda. Thank you to everyone else that was here. I think we're gonna continue this another time. So yeah. Yep. Bye bye.